the midfield three. Jacob Murphy on the right, Anthony Gordon on the left, and Alexander Isak, who bagged himself 3 goals during the international break against Azerbaijan and Estonia, playing through the middle for Newcastle, and of course scored the winner in their last Premier League game, a 2-1 win over Tottenham. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1. It finished in our first Premier League commentary of the day. This is now underway. Newcastle have the ball on the edge of their own box, and Cher is hurried into a clearance, but it does find Murphy. Murphy's inside his own half, goes running away from Aït-Nouri, rolls a pass across the halfway line, and Lewis Hall, in his green boots, which don't really go with the Newcastle strip this afternoon, lays it off. Isak then plays a ball out wide left, looking for Joelinton. That's intercepted. Newcastle keep it inside the Wolves half, as we say welcome to our listeners on the BBC World Service this afternoon. Grey skies above Molineux, under a minute in. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. The former Republic of Ireland striker Clinton Morrison in the commentary position for 5 Live today. Wolves breaking up play on the edge of their own box. Aït-Nouri plays it back to the Colombian Mosquera. He's closed down by Longstaff. It comes back to Johnston, the goalkeeper, all in green. Floats his clearance away with his right foot. Cunha jumps, heads it to the left, chases his own header, and then is a little over-eager and barges into the back of Tino Livramento, who has started all 4 Premier League games for Newcastle so far this season, with Kieran Trippier on the bench. We are a minute and a half in, and Newcastle build down the left. Joelinton finds Anthony Gordon. Gordon back to Hall. Gordon involved again. Just flicks a pass back to Hall. Here's Dan Burn, who played most of the season at left back, but is currently in this role as the left-sided centre back, with Sven Botman and Jamal Lascelles both out injured. Nice ball from Murphy. Seeks out Isak. Isak nods that ball down. He's got his back to the Wolves goal, wide on the right-hand side, and just lays it back to Livramento. Gary O'Neill has spotted something he wants his defenders to do, and is waving his right arm furiously as Isak just plays a pass back into the midfield. Guimaraes with the outside of his right foot sweeps it back to Burn. Cross to Hall. A lot of Newcastle possession in the first couple of minutes here. Anthony Gordon's going to have a run at Semedo. Gordon beats him, plays it in field to Guimaraes. Curling ball to the far post. Aït-Nouri flicks a header away, and Bellegarde is there for Wolves. One touch from him, and the clearance hits Livramento, and it goes out for... Is that going to be a Wolves throw or a goal kick?
I'm like you, the linesman's not even put his flag up and help the referee out. So look, no one knows what it is because you're just standing there. But I think it must be a goal kick then.
Yeah, not helping the fans out, not helping us out, not helping the players out, but it is going to be a goal kick. And Sam Johnston wraps the ball up in the big white gloves. And as with pretty much every single team you're watching the Premier League, the 2 centre-backs, they'll drop deep. Dawson on the left, Mosquera on the right, either side of the 6-yard box, giving him the short option. Johnston just drills one straight down the middle of the field. Strand Larsen stretches, lays it back to Cunha. Good run made forward by Lamina. Cunha couldn't release the pass, and Longstaff brings it away for Newcastle up towards the halfway line. Finds Hall on the left. Hall back to Guimaraes, who's encouraged to bring the ball forward. Finds Gordon in the inside left channel. Back to Guimaraes. Forward to Joelinton. Very confident, composed stuff from Newcastle in the early stages. Championship game. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 2. So Wolves' great rivals West Brom, if they win that game, and it looks like they're going to, they're going top of the championship table. Dundee United 0, Rangers 1. It finished earlier on today. Rangers with the win, moved 5 points behind Celtic and Aberdeen. Isak lays it off to Longstaff. Murphy brings it forward, hits the cross hard. Aït-Nouri blocks it at close range. That goes out for a throw, and the assistant referee loud and clear with the flag there.
He switched off, didn't he? He didn't start the game. I think he thought he's still warming up down there.
Livramento holds the ball above his head and waits to take the throw for Newcastle. Just lobs it in gently to Murphy. Lays it back to Livramento, who was involved with England during the last international break, although he didn't get on the field in the wins against the Republic of Ireland and Finland. Joelinton doing a brilliant defensive job there for Newcastle. Gets back, takes it off Cunha. I think Cunha was complaining there that he was dragged back initially, which allowed Joelinton to catch up with him.
I think he was by Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, I thought so. I think the referee sort of played an advantage there and then didn't feel he could bring it back. Gordon to Joelinton. Gordon runs around Semedo, crossing with his left foot. Isak stretches and then hits the shot on the turn. Well blocked by Mosquera. Hall nods it down from the clearance. Joelinton is there. He's got 4 Wolves players around him, but he's able to find a teammate in Hall. Hall is having his heel snapped at by Lemina. Newcastle have it inside their own half. Clinton.
We played 5 minutes. I don't even think Wolves have got out their half yet out. It's been a really positive start from Newcastle. And if you're going to sit in, eventually they're going to break you down, because the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton have started this game on the front foot and they've been outstanding. Even Murphy on the right side causing out Nori lots of problems, but he looked sharp, Isak, really sharp.
Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. 5 minutes in. 5 Live BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Clinton was here a few weeks ago, sitting alongside. Was it John Murray you did the Chelsea game with?
Yeah, it was John Murray. Yeah, it was a great game. What was it? 6-2 again.
6-2.
Loads of goals out
to Chelsea. Yeah. Long ball over the top here for Murphy to chase. Dawson has got it covered. Plays it back to Sam Johnston. Johnston first time clears with his right foot. Strand Larsen heads it straight up in the air. Joe Linton is there first for Newcastle and is able to knock it back with his left foot towards Dan Burn.
You know what is out? They've got 3 in midfield and they can't get near them. Lemina, Andre or Gomez at the moment. And it's Joe Linton, Longstaff and Bruno are running the show in there at the moment.
Lemina is on the right hand side of that midfield 3. Andre right in the middle and Joao Gomez on the left. Lewis Hall on the ball at left back for Newcastle. Rolls it down the line to Gordon. First time ball didn't find Joe Linton. Intercepted by Joao Gomez. Cunha is onto it for Wolves and then the pass goes behind Semedo. Quick throw taken by Hall. Gordon was away down the left, but Mosquera read that well and intercepted it for Wolves. Still 0-0. Lemina's ball over the top. That is going to be too far ahead of Cunha, who puts his thumbs up because he liked the idea. Nick Pope was in a good position and collects it for Newcastle. So 6.5 minutes in, 0-0. Isak is able to collect the ball and turn and slide it through here to Jacob Murphy, who hits the shot just over the bar and behind for a corner. So that was either deflected on the way through or Johnston got a touch. Yeah,
Johnson makes a good save, but there's a problem there because if Andre's going to be the middle one, he has to screen Isak. If not, Dawson or Mosquera will have to come up. Newcastle playing one through the middle. It's too easy for Isak to spin. It was a great little ball. Good run from out to in from Murphy, but it's a good save from Johnson.
7 minutes in, 0-0. Clinton's just spotted that our replay monitor in front of us has just got a still shot of an empty Molineux, which is absolutely no good, but on the desk in front we just saw the replay of the Johnston touch, which took the shot over the bar. So Newcastle with the corner, which is going to come in from their left flank. Gordon takes this short to Murphy, who zips it back to Hall. Hall's cross takes the deflection. Up in the air it goes, and Sam Johnston makes a loud call and a confident catch above the head of Isak. But Newcastle have certainly started the better so far. Solheim Cup coverage continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. The last we heard from our golf correspondent Ian Carter, Europe needed to turn around 3 of the matches to try and get themselves in that position to get themselves to 14 points to retain the trophy, having started the day 10-6 behind. And after the football here at Molineux, the denouement of the Solheim Cup, the commentary will continue here on 5 Live. Lemina's ball, trying to thread it through to Cunha. Applause from the Wolves fans. It didn't quite get there. Joe Linton is able to intercept. Guimaraes lays it off, and then the pass from Longstaff hits the referee, who I've not mentioned by name so far. So let's do that. Chris Kavanagh is the referee here at Molineux. Gets in the way, drops the ball down, and Longstaff plays it with his left foot out to Hall, who quickly gives it to Gordon. Eddie Howe talking in glowing terms about Anthony Gordon before the game and how much good the international break actually had done him. Good performances in Dublin and at Wembley for England in the 2 wins. Isak lays it off to Joe Linton, continues his run down the left. Mosquera follows him, makes the tackle, and that is given as a Newcastle throw. Attacking position on the left hand side. You're right about Isak though, Clinton. Everything he does, looks really on it, doesn't he?
You were right when you mentioned it. I think when you go away international, you score goals, you come back confident, and that's how he looks.
Here's Dan Burn with his left foot, fires a pass to Hall. Hall controls and then just stops for a second, and everything is at walking pace. Hall to Gordon, back to Burn inside his own half. Roll to Guimaraes. Guimaraes with his back to the Wolves goal. Curls a ball back to Cher. Here's Murphy, lays it off, looking for the run of Livramento. That'll run for Livramento, and then he doesn't quite get the pass right. Isak was trying to make the run in behind, and Livramento's just overhit that down the inside right channel, and it ends up at the feet of Sam Johnston. But if you're Eddie Howe and you're a Newcastle fan at the moment, quite encouraging start by the away team, Clinton.
No, you're spot on now. They've been brilliant, and it's through the thirds they play, and Isak's such a clever forward. He doesn't just stay up there, he drops into pockets. It makes it really difficult. Livramento will be disappointed with that pass, Just.
Dawson's curling ball down the left. Strand Larsen will chase. Pope again in a good starting position in goal. He's out there, slices his clearance slightly in the light blue goalkeeping outfit, so it goes out for a throw in to Wolves. Strand Larsen battles for it. Longstaff is back, and then Pope gets underneath that clearance, and the ball goes spinning high in the air. Fabulous first touch from João Gomez.
And that's why he's not England's number one, because he had time to play out from the back there, and you saw Bruno Guimaraes telling him, and he's not comfortable in possession.
Bellegarde for Wolves plays it back into the midfield. Andre across to João Gomez, right in the middle of the Newcastle half. Now Ait-Nouri. Socks rolled down, starting as left back in the back four for Wolves this afternoon, but always offers that attacking threat. Dawson drives the diagonal ball. Good ball as well. Over to the right. Here's a little trick from Semedo. Left-footed low shot from him, straight at Pope. Comfortable save by the near post. And he comes trotting out to the edge of his own penalty area. So a bit better from Wolves.
Yeah, he's a good goalie. I'm not saying he's not. He's a top goalie, Pope, and he's a very fantastic shot stopper. But I think in the modern day now, they got everyone to be able to play out from the back, and that's not his strength. He'd be probably the first one to tell you that. Yeah,
if you were watching your match of the day last night or on the iPlayer today, the Manchester City-Brentford analysis was all about Ederson and how good he is.
Oh, he can play outfield though.
Well, absolutely.
He's good. Yeah, he's brilliant. yeah.
The U's and R's, by the way, there. Nick Pope under pressure, did well with the ball at his feet, got it away in time to Cher, and Cher plays a crossfield pass over to Hall, crosses the halfway line. Joelinton turns just inside the Wolves half. Andre goes down because Joelinton's outstretched arm just caught him in the mouth. Play continues. Joelinton nearly got that through to Longstaff. Important interception by Ait-Nouri. Picks himself quickly to his feet. Turns 10 yards outside his own penalty area. A couple of tricks. Plays back to Andre. Andre to Dawson. Johnston, the Wolves keeper, moves into a good position to receive that pass, and then in a very measured fashion just rolls it forward to Semedo. Andre involved again in his blue boots. Back to Dawson. Cross to Ait-Nouri. Down the left to Bellegarde, and Livramento, quick as a flash, is in on him. Makes the tackle, and that will be a throw in to Wolves in the left back position. 12 minutes in. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Cricket abandoned today, the third T20 international between England and Australia at Old Trafford.
Disappointing. I would have watched that when I got home. I recorded that. You have to cancel it. And the problem is he had good weather yesterday out, and the rest of the week is brilliant weather. The one day.
Yeah, 5 one-days to come though between
exactly.
England
that would be good.
And Australia. So plenty more cricket to come with the coverage on Radio 5 Sports Extra, as always, with the Test Match special team. Here's Ait-Nouri looking for Bellegarde. Livramento again, sliding in this time. Claims he got the ball. Took a bit of Bellegarde as well, who goes flying. So that is going to be a free kick to Wolves inside their own half, wide on the left. And Ait-Nouri is happy to take his time at the beginning of this game, because Wolves have been under just a little bit of pressure. Next home game's not going to get any easier for them. So after this, actually, they're away to Brighton in the week in the League Cup on Wednesday, and go away to Villa for the derby. Next 2 home games, Liverpool and Manchester City. Offside flag up against Wolves. Newcastle free kick. Murphy takes that inside the Wolves half. Which,
I don't think he knows the rules.
If you know the rules, that cannot be the case. And the referee very sensibly blows his whistle, points that out. And Newcastle take their free kick. And the ball is quickly over with Anthony Gordon, who is covered and smothered by Semedo. But Gordon's not having any of it, turns away from him, plays it back to Hall. Lovely speedy dart forward from Hall into the channel. Out it goes to Gordon on the left. Hall is involved again. Quick pass back to Gordon, who assesses his options here. Midway inside the Wolves half, on the left, comes back to Byrne, across to Cher. Livramento hugging the touchline on the right-hand side. And Livramento plays it infield to Murphy. Forward to Longstaff. Little nudge in the back from Ait-Nouri. Gary O'Neill applauds the defensive job done by his team. So that is going to be a throw-in for Newcastle.
It's quiet. Even the away fans, the Newcastle fans, it's proper quiet in the ground at the moment. I know the players have to build up the atmosphere, but to start of the game, it's so quiet.
We've got the telly working, Clinton.
We've got the telly right. Well done to one of the main men, Gary Flintoff.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Gary.
Producer Gary, getting it sorted as always. Match of the day 2 tonight, by the way. BBC 1 at 10:30. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1 it finished. Gabriel's header in the second half, winning the game for Arsenal in the North London derby. Gordon tackled there by Mosquera. Gordon takes the throw. Joelinton leaps in the air, lays it to Gordon, back to Joelinton, corner of the Wolves penalty area. Little drag back and plays it back to Hall. Wide to Gordon, low pass to Joelinton, good movement from Newcastle. Joelinton tees up the shot, was about to hit it, and Lemina nips in and takes it off his toe and brings Wolves away quickly. Strand Larsen's on his own inside the Newcastle half, lot to do, and he can't do the first bit of that, which is holding on to the ball. Dan Burn has tackled him, and at the moment Joelinton is down on the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Lewis Hall has it, plays a pass down the line, but Newcastle are going to stop the game so that Joelinton can receive treatment. That was one of those classic ones where he swung the right leg back, Clinton, to hit the shot. Lemina came in, made a clean tackle, didn't he, on the ball? We're going to see it now on our newly working monitor. And I think Joelinton either caught the ground or caught Lemina, caught the ground as he kicked for the ball.
It's a sore one. Yeah, I've done that a few times where you think you're going to do it and Lemina just gets there and you kick the ground. It can be a sore one, but he's all right. Maybe more it was his pride that he miskicked the ball there, because he's all right now. He didn't need the physio. It can happen.
Yeah. 15 minutes gone. First half at Molineux. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. With all the European football on the way on 5 Live this week. So all 4 English teams in Champions League action. We've got commentary on all of them. Tuesday at 5:45, Young Boys against Aston Villa. 8 o'clock, it's AC Milan against Liverpool. Manchester City Inter on Wednesday night. And Arsenal away to Atalanta on Thursday. And this time next week you will be listening to Manchester City against Arsenal on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But this is Wolves Newcastle. Livramento's under pressure. Wolves suddenly sensed an opportunity to win that ball. They've done it. Cunha running away from Livramento. Did well for Newcastle. Got back, made the challenge. Loves the physical side, does Livramento. Has made some good tackles early on in this game. Cunha then eventually gets a cross and it hits Hall and goes out for a throw-in to Wolves, wide on the right.
Good battle there. Cunha did ever so well there, though. He had 3 of them around him and battled and used his strength. But you're right, Livramento does like a tackle. He started the game on the front foot. But you can see when he goes into midfield, he's not as comfortable, and that's what they're trying to do with their fullback. He's better when he's on the touchline, when he's got grass ahead of him.
It was suddenly João Gomes and Andre who pounced on him for Wolves and managed to win that ball. Lemina from the throw lays it to Semedo. Semedo's tackled. Another throw in for Wolves. Attacking position on the right hand side. The Newcastle boss Eddie Howe just beneath us. Notepad just tucked into the left pocket of those tightly fitting tracksuit bottoms. Back it comes to Sam Johnston, the Wolves keeper. Left-footed clearance under pressure. Couldn't do much with that. He wanted it on the right peg. He's saying that to Ait Nouri. And all he can do is loft it out for a throw-in to Newcastle. Livramento's looking for an option. 7 or 8 yards inside the Wolves half. Gary O'Neill right behind him, the Wolves boss, hollering instructions across the halfway line as Dan Burn finds Hall. Joelinton wide on the left, just crosses the halfway line. Hall makes a run beyond him. Joelinton takes his time. Andre is in. That's Brazilian against Brazilian, trying to win it off him. And again, he's outnumbered there, Joelinton. Cunha just prods it forward. Strand Larsen will chase that, but Hall will get there first. Step over from him. And then passes to Burn, who gives it back to Hall. Strand Larsen wanders back into the middle of the field, the Norwegian centre forward. So his competition for an international spot is you-know-who.
Yes.
That's a difficult shirt to try and grab, isn't it?
Yeah.
Long ball forward here. Gordon chases, bounces awkwardly. Gordon tumbles on the edge of the Wolves area and stays down. I didn't see much in that. And Gordon slowly picking himself to his feet. And we'll have a look on the replays in just a second. But it was a long ball that actually proved to be quite threatening.
It did. I think it was a little nudge, but I don't think the referee or VAR will get involved on that. Sometimes you have to lean in as a defender, but it was a good ball, you're right, and a good run from Gordon.
Johnston side foots this pass out into the path of Andre the Brazilian. Forward to Lemina, back to Andre. Here's Cunha. Cunha taking it away from Cher, feeds the pass to Lemina. Strand Larsen starts to make his run. Hall is there to make the tackle for Newcastle. Back it comes to Pope. Wolves fans giving him a little bit of stick, but he deals with that one well. Out to Livramento. Livramento closed down by Bellegarde. Plays back to Cher. Cher balloons this ball high in the air. Ait Nouri jumps early. It clears him, but Jacob Murphy's coming back from the offside position, so Wolves get the free kick. And we're coming up to about 20 minutes played here at Molineux.
No goalies really been tested, have they? Even though Newcastle were dominating, it didn't really work Sam Johnson.
Free kick taken. Livramento gets a shove in the back from Ait Nouri, who was trying to win it off him. And that is going to be a free kick to Newcastle in the right back position. And Eddie Howe is just having a word with a couple of his players here. So he's making the image of a ball with his hands and just talking possibly about just taking a little more care with it when they're building up. Hall gives it to Gordon, just inside his own half, followed everywhere by Semedo, who continues to track him and then slips actually. That is a foul on Gordon. I don't think he meant to make that challenge. Gordon was playing the pass. And
I don't understand why the referee Kavanagh has to stop it then, because if you're not going to book him, Newcastle have still got the ball. It makes no sense. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes you get frustrated with the referees out. And yeah, he did stop it. I understand that. But just let it go on. Stop stopping the game. You can't get a flow to it.
Thoughts of Clinton Morrison. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Here's Cher. You're right, Clinton, about that. It's so quiet in here.
Listen, look how quiet it is. It's so.
From
I'm
both
surprised.
sets of fans.
Both sets of fans.
Yeah.
Usually the Newcastle away fans are fantastic, and the Wolves home fans. You can see where kind of Wolves are at the moment this season.
Gordon has it again inside his own half, followed by Semedo. Wriggles away, plays it to Murphy. This is going to run nicely for Hall. Feeds it to Isak. The pass is behind Isak. Aït-Nouri's able to clear with his right foot. The ball bounces inside the Newcastle half. Dan Burn just out-muscles Cunha. Nods it down. Longstaff receives it on the halfway line. Next break in play, we're going to get an update from the Solheim Cup as Guimaraes plays back to Dan Burn. Burn gives it to Nick Pope, his goalkeeper, edge of his penalty area. Pope looking downfield here, drives it high with his right foot into the Wolves half. Mosquera heads this straight up in the air. Joe Linton, that's got to be a foul, and that will be a free kick to Wolves. Let's get the latest then on the golf from Ian Carter.
Charlie Hull is about to land the first point of the singles day against Nelly Korda. She's 5 up, making her way up the 14th. She's in perfect position after a sensational second shot there as well, Ali. So that will be a point to Europe, but it looks very much as though Megan Kang is going to secure one for the Americans. She's 5 up, Georgia Hall's 3 up. Basically the overall situation is that the Americans still lead in 7 matches, but there is a rump of matches right in the middle of the order, and if any of those can be turned around, then Europe still have a chance. There's only 1 or 2 holes involved in those contests.
Still in the balance. Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra and will follow us here after Wolves against Newcastle. Gordon turns away from Semedo. Real burst of pace as well. Beats Mosquera into the penalty area. Oh, and grazes the post with a right-footed curler that went right across Sam Johnston. Looked like it was heading for the top corner, and it's just clipped the post and gone out for the throw-in to Wolves. That was brilliant from Anthony Gordon.
I didn't know he was that sharp, to be fair. I ain't seen him much live, but he looked brilliant. The way he turned Semedo there, and it was brilliant. And Mosquera came, I think it was a little nutmeg on Mosquera. Yeah, it was, and he went round him and tight angle, and he bends it. He's so unlucky. He beats Sam Johnson, hits the outside of the post. It's fantastic play from Anthony Gordon.
Wolves take their goal kick. Here's Johnston, edge of his 6-yard box. Floated forward up towards Strand Larsen. Does well to hold on to that for the home team. Back it comes to João Gomez. Andre receives that under pressure. Plays back to Dawson, who uses his goalkeeper Johnston again. Johnston goes with the longer ball this time. Deep into Newcastle territory. Good centre forward play from Strand Larsen. Chests it down to Lamina, who goes bundling into the back of Guimaraes. Guimaraes thinks he should have a free kick for that. Doesn't get the decision, and Wolves get the throw. Aït-Nouri plays it to João Gomez. João Gomez suddenly looks up and sees Newcastle in their defensive position. They're just blanketed across the field here. Clever flick from Lamina though. Finds Bellegarde in space on the left. Cher is out there to try and block the cross. It comes in from Bellegarde. It's headed away by Joe Linton. Controlled by João Gomez. Gomez turns away from Jacob Murphy. Still inside the Newcastle half. Andre finds Bellegarde. Aït-Nouri made a good run down the left there. Bellegarde decided not to use him. Lofts a high pass away to the right. Not enough pace on it. Gordon intercepts. Gordon then stumbles and nearly loses it. Runs back to Burn. And Longstaff first time ball to Joe Linton, looking for Gordon, can't find him. Newcastle lose it in a dangerous area. Semedo on the move for Wolves into the box. Cut back to Cunha, great block on the shot. And Newcastle are able to bring it away. with Lewis Hall, and it was Bruno Guimaraes.
Unbelievable. You're right, Ali. Great spot there. You know, Bruno's so good going forward. A lot of people don't see the defensive work he done. He senses danger, so that's what good footballers do. There's a mistake from Joe Linton trying to flick at a good run from Semedo, and you're thinking Cunha's going to make it 1-0, but great reading of the game from Bruno Guimaraes there.
25 minutes gone then, first half. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Back to Ian Carter at the Solheim Cup.
Confirmation Charlie Hull has delivered for Europe. She has beaten the world number 1 6-4, beating Nelly Korda on the 14th green. 7 under par for the 14 holes that Hull played. Quite brilliant. So the overall score now, United States 10, Europe 7.
Exactly what Europe needed. Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Isak dribbling his way down the byline on the left, eventually commits the foul on Mosquera. And so Wolves will have a chance to clear. Goal at Fratton Park, Chris Wise.
This seals it. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 3 in stoppage time. Alex Mowat, second of the game. Brilliant free kick, 20 yards out over the wall into the net. Pompey 0, West Brom 3.
Thank you, Chris. Dundee United 0, Rangers 1 in the Scottish Premiership earlier on today. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1 in the North London derby. Charlie Hull's win, exactly what Europe needed at the top of the board today in the Solheim Cup. Reminds me of that great day, Medina 2012. When the European golfers won the first 5 singles matches that set up the famous win that day, although it sounds like Megan Kang is going to do the business in the second match there in Virginia. Pope's clearance with his right foot over the head of Murphy. Aït-Nouri's going to let that go. That's still in play, actually. The ball curled back in.
He nearly touched it, Gary O'Neill, didn't he? You're right.
Nearly knocked it back to Craig Dawson. Here is Dawson. Playing alongside Gerson Mosquera and trying to sort of guide him through these Premier League games at the moment. The Colombian centre-back in his 4th season at Wolves, but in recent times has been on loan in the MLS to Cincinnati FC and Villarreal in La Liga as well. Stooping header from Bruno Guimaraes from the throw-in is off target and goes out of play for a throw-in to Wolves on the left. Back to the Solheim Cup, Ian.
Megan Kang for the United States landing a 6-5 win in the second match against Emily Pedersen. She's won Kang all 3 of her matches in this Solheim Cup, and she's taken her team to within 3.5 points of victory. 11-7 the Americans lead.
Bellegarde on the run, hits the shot wide of the target. Great run from Bellegarde. Started about 40 yards from goal. Diagonal drive into the Newcastle penalty area. As Clinton was saying earlier, scored an absolute worldie in the game against Nottingham Forest before the international break. This time couldn't find the target.
And that's why Wang's out of the team, because he's been so good for them this season on Bellegarde on this left-hand side, causing problems. Great run. It went past Byrne and then went past Hall, but the angle was so tight to beat Nick Pope. But yeah, it's a bright spot. And I saw there Gomez trying to get the crowd going, because it is quiet.
Yeah. Hall plays down the left for Gordon. Gordon running back towards his own half. Lamina has a nibble. That's going to be a sore one, actually. Caught Gordon on the ankle this time. Goes and apologises.
He just reminds, like, they're different players, but he wins a lot of free kicks, and Jack Grealish is the same. The way they just entice the tackle, and they're so sharp and good enough to manipulate the ball. Very good.
Which means you're going to take some hits as well.
Yeah, he's going to take hits because he's so good, and you slow it down and you move it and you move it and you delay it. But that's the sign of a good player, and that's what Gordon is.
Jack Wilshere used to do that, didn't he?
Oh, Jack was a special player.
Yeah.
That is why he probably got a lot of injuries as well, though, because the way he used to manipulate that ball. But fantastic midfielder.
Gordon is really enjoying the battle.
You see what I mean there again? So he waits, he could have moved it, and he's waiting for that contact. Jack Grealish is the best at it, by the way, but Gordon's very good at it as well.
That was Gordon's Semedo. That is a running battle in this game. Semedo has been detailed to follow Gordon everywhere. Everywhere Gordon goes with the ball, Semedo is breathing down his neck, but Gordon is rising to the challenge and is causing him real problems. The closest we've come to a goal so far, the brilliant turn from Gordon that got him away from Semedo, the nutmeg on Mosquera, and then the curling effort that clipped the post. Here's Byrne, Livramento, Bellegarde breathing down his neck, saw him coming, turns away from him, crosses the halfway line. Murphy in loads of space here. Longstaff takes a touch, then bobbles the pass to Murphy, brings it infield, tries to find Isak, who was quite a way away there. That's intercepted, and João Gomez just knocks his pass back to Aït-Nouri into Andre, who bustles quickly into position. Good use of the ball as well. Feeds it here to Semedo. Semedo driving forward. Great run from Mosquera on the outside. Mosquera continues the run. Hall makes the tackle. It hits Mosquera, and then it goes behind for a Newcastle goal kick, 0-0.
I don't think his manager wants him to do that, Gary. They're not playing it free at the back. Mosquero just basically, it's a good run. I like it. The fans would like it, but if he's out of position, Isak's one-on-one with Dawson, and you don't want that. So he has to be sensible and pick his time. But yeah, it was a great run. Good pass from Andre though, Ali. First time I've seen him, he looks neat and tidy in midfield.
Gary O'Neill talking about the signing when they made it this summer, talking about how he thought he was perfectly suited to the demands of the Premier League, and just looking at the way he sort of goes about his business, I can see what he means in that central midfield role. Strand Larsen trying to flick it into the path of Cunha. Didn't reach him. Clearance from Cher is easily intercepted. Cunha knocks it back to Lamina. Central position 30 yards out in his bright pink boots. Semedo makes a run into space on the right. Gordon's not gone with him this time. Low ball from Cunha. Behind for the corner. Before Wolves take that, quickly to Fratton Park, Chris Wise.
Baggies bouncing to the top of the table, 3-0 winners here. Maja early on, Mowat with 2 in the second half. Pompey still without a win. They look like they've got a great balance to them, West Brom. Black Country Derby getting a reintroduction next season? Maybe. Pompey 0, West Brom 3.
Calling that one early, Chris. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 3.
Very early.
West Brom top of the table. And Wolves, of course, at the moment, sitting in the bottom 3, but very early days in the Premier League. Looking for a first win, Premier League win of the season. Waiting to take this corner at the moment. It's going to come in from the right. Delivered now, and it's a high away swinger. Falls to Ait-Nouri. One touch on the volley. Keeps it in play. Half volley cross. Back across the face of goal. Blocked by Sharon behind for another Wolves corner. So less than 15 minutes to play in the first half. On 5 Live, the BBC World Service, and as always available on the BBC Sounds app, particularly if you're on the move. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Ait-Nouri looking for an option, thinks about taking the corner. Mateus Cunha has taken plenty of time to come ambling over from the other side of the field. Ait-Nouri takes it short to him, cross comes in, and the header is flicked over the bar by Andre, but he was facing away from goal, and the offside flag was up anyway, so it would have been a free kick to Newcastle.
Wolves are growing into the game. Newcastle have kind of lost their zip. After the first 15-20 minutes, they were the better team, and they've lost their zip massively.
Was it offside from?
Yeah, I think
from the short corner.
The short corner, but Cunha's saying, how can I be offside? I don't know, he played it back to me. So it doesn't make sense.
Unless Newcastle were very clever in the middle, spotted what they were going to do and moved up the pitch.
I think that's why Cunha's saying to the linesman, I don't know what you've seen there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anyway, he headed it over the bar.
Matter.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Gary O'Neill seems similarly perplexed by the decision as well. So it is going to be a free kick for Newcastle. It's being explained to him at the moment by Simon Hooper, the 4th official. Long clearance downfield into the Wolves half. Ait-Nouri has it covered. Isak thought about making a challenge and then let it go. Throw in for Wolves in their left back position. Ait-Nouri clutching the ball tightly with both hands. Looking for an option here. Bellegarde comes trotting towards him, then moves away. Now he takes that throw down the left-hand touchline. Strand Larsen barges into the back of Livramento. Concedes the free kick, and Newcastle take that inside their own half. Share plays it to Byrne, across to Hall. Hall has the beating of Lamina. Lays it off to Gordon. I think they're going to be wanting to get that ball to Anthony Gordon just as much as they can. Longstaff gives it back to Gordon in central midfield. Joao Gomez takes it off him. Gordon tried to foul him. Couldn't bring him down with the tug of the shirt, and Wolves are allowed to keep playing. Lamina.
So booking that is really and truly. So let's see if Kavanagh comes
back. Yeah. I mean, had it been a free kick, had he not played the advantage, definite booking for that, Clinton, absolutely. Up the middle of the pitch it goes to Cunha, intercepted by Byrne, and that turns into a really good pass for Isak. Looking to release Gordon on the left-hand side, might run for Murphy, sliding challenge by Ait-Nouri, and it's knocked behind for a corner to Newcastle.
Yeah, both teams are sloppy in possession, but the one thing that they've got is they've got Isak, who looks sharp, and Gordon on that left. They need to get Murphy into the game more, but it was good defending, good recovery. I think he's picked up a slight little knock there, Isak, but yeah, I thought he was going to take him one-on-one and use Gordon's run, but good defending in the end.
Yeah, not moving entirely comfortably at the moment, Alexander Isak, but I think he'll probably shake that off. Hands on his knees, bent over, starting to make a run for this corner. Lewis Hall delivers with his left foot. Good pace on that. Dawson read it. Heads it away. Flicks the header across his own penalty area and out for a throw-in to Newcastle on the left. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Cher leaves it for Joelinton. Joelinton takes the throw and plays it Back to Cher, who immediately gives it back to Joelinton on the left. 1-2 with Hall. Back it comes to Cher. Uses Joelinton again. All very sedate at the moment. Dan Burn plays it out to the right. So Newcastle switching the angle of attack. Using Murphy. Infield to Guimaraes, and Guimaraes decides to come all the way back to Pope, who's well outside his penalty area. Floated pass from him. Hall was going to try and chest that down, had to backpedal quickly and just cushion a little header to himself there, and now knocks it to Guimaraes. Gordon does that little dart down the wing and then comes back to collect the ball, and now he's up against Semedo. Semedo sticks a foot in, wins the tackle, knocks it out for a throw into Newcastle. Gordon reacts quickly and takes that. Thrown to Joelinton, back to Gordon. Gordon thought about the early cross, low ball to Longstaff, who just tried to clip it forward to Isak, and it was intercepted. Cunha on the ball for Wolves, plays it down the inside right channel. Strand Larsen has the beating of Dan Burn, thought about an early cross, holds onto it, ball comes in, step over from João Gomez, and Mario Lemina is not going to miss from there. Beautifully worked by Wolves down the right hand side. The cross came in, great awareness from João Gomez to leave it for Mario Lemina, and he strokes it into the back of the net to make it Wolves 1, Newcastle 0.
And that's what you got to do, because Dan Burn's a good defender, but he struggles with pace, and Strand Larsen's not the quickest, but he just knocks it past Dan Burn, uses his strength, goes past Dan Burn like he's not there, cuts it back, and the over from Gomez is fantastic. The little over, because he's either Lemina's shouted him or he's seen it, and it's a good finish, and this is why Newcastle were desperate to get Mark Gahey in, because he's got that pace, and at the back Dan Burn's a good defender, but he lacks pace, but good play from Strand Larsen.
4 goals in the Premier League last season for Mario Lemina, and he's off the mark this season as well. Strand Larsen did so well, just took his time to pick out the cross, and as Clinton says, brilliant awareness from João Gomez to let that run. May well have got the shout from Lemina.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And Lemina had the simple task of finding the bottom corner.
I'm just in my brain now thinking, I'd love to score the goal. I did score loads of goals like that, but it just brings back good memories. You know when you're 2 yards out, you're thinking, I can't miss from here. Because the ball is just coming, it's not bobbling or anything.
Yeah. But equally, in terms of letting that go, Clinton, it would have been very tempting to hit the shot, because that ball was running to him. He's 8 yards out. It would have been a more difficult shot.
You're right, mate. I think that it's brilliant play from Gomez, and that's what he is. He's an intelligent midfielder. The way he lets it go through his leg, dummies it. It's fantastic.
So Wolves lead Newcastle by 1-0. The skipper Lemina has scored. Joelinton goes down, no free kick. João Gomez barged over by Joelinton, spotted by the referee Chris Kavanagh, and immediately comes over, wags a finger at Joelinton, moves Mosquera away, who is going to come and stick up for his teammate. Sheer frustration from Joelinton. He was tackled, thought he was fouled, didn't get the decision, did that classic thing, went tearing into the next challenge, and picks himself up a yellow card, and Newcastle just ever so slightly rattled.
Yeah, I agree, but Mosquera needs to pick his fights wisely, because I think it's a mismatch with Joelinton, to be fair, so he needs to relax. And it's the two Brazilians, they probably know each other, and he was frustrated, just spot on. He summed it up brilliantly out. He thought he should have got a free kick, and as a reaction, as a player, your instant reaction is like, I'm going to try and win the ball back and leave a bit, and that's what Joelinton's done.
USA needing 3.5 more points to win back the Solheim Cup in Virginia. Commentary continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra, and we'll pick up the commentary here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds after the end of this game. The free kick taken by Sam Johnston. Down the left-hand side it's played. Livramento knocks it out of play for a throw into Wolves on the left. Solheim Cup highlights as well on the BBC tonight. 2 bites of the cherry here. BBC 4 at 9 o'clock, and if you don't make those, BBC 2 at 5 to midnight. Here's Mosquera. Right-footed pass out to Semedo. So Wolves have the lead, something to hang on to, looking for a first Premier League win of the season. And their only other Premier League game here so far this season, thumped 6-2 by Chelsea, as Johnston, the keeper, clears with his right foot. Hall up really early to win the header. Andre is onto it for Wolves. Dragged back a little bit by Longstaff. Referee spotted that, was trying to play the advantage. Decisions are going Wolves' way, but that was the correct decision as well, and that is going to be a free kick for the home team.
To be fair, Longstaff's been quiet. Me personally, I know he's just coming back from injury, but I've watched a lot when Joe Willock's in the team, and he's the one who gets up and supports Isak. I've not seen one of those midfield three run beyond Isak when they've been in possession, and Isak likes to come forward, so it's been easy for Dawson and Mosquera so far.
Clinton Morrison with us at Molineux. Wolves leading Newcastle by a 1-0. Dawson's free kick, spinning high. Strand Larsen tumbles over the top of Fabian Schär. You heard the referee's whistle blow. Schär's just having to slowly regather his senses here, with the Norwegian centre forward having collapsed on top of him. Just took a whack to the side of the head. Clumsy from Strand Larsen, nothing more. Free kick for Newcastle, who find themselves a goal behind. And it's actually Strand Larsen who's getting into that position, Clinton, about to jump, and he just sort of shovels the left arm into the face of Schär.
Yeah, it was. You can watching it again. Well, you're going to have to jump as a centre forward. So centre halves kick centre forward. So I don't really mind centre forwards giving it back to centre halves as well. It's part and parcel of football, but it was a foul. The referee Kavanagh made the right decision now.
Schär back on his feet, playing the ball back to Pope. Pope plays it across to Byrne. Nice pass from Dan Byrne. Jacob Murphy's on the left hand side here. Gordon's left as well. Murphy's got real pace up to the edge of the penalty area. Now rolls the pass to Gordon. Semedo in front of him, tries to take him on the outside, has the beating of him, still going. Loads of Wolves defenders in the way. Eventually they get a block in. Semedo brings the ball away. Strand Larsen starts to run on the halfway line. Here he is, receives it. They can find Bellegarde on the left. This could be an opportunity, and Aït-Nouri sees the opportunity and goes charging on the outside down that left hand side. Gets the ball at his feet, takes on Longstaff, beats him initially. Longstaff gets back at him, beats him again, heads for the byline, drills it at pace. Pope just palms it away from his near post, and the ball reaches the feet of João Gomez, 40 yards out in the inside left channel, across to Andre to Mosquera. Closing stages of the first half, and Wolves enjoying a good spell here, leading through Mario Lemina's goal. Aït-Nouri finds Bellegarde again. Livramento sticks with him. Bellegarde to Aït-Nouri, back to Dawson inside his own half. Dawson brings it away from Murphy, finds João Gomez on the left, back to Dawson. Dawson's pass across the halfway line to Andre, who's very happy to receive that ball in tight spaces. One touch, turns, plays his pass, comes to Johnston. Johnston wants to go longer here. Strand Larsen's aimed at him. Livramento up to win the header, nods it down. Throw in for Wolves on the left. 3 minutes left in this first half, and Wolves lead Newcastle by 1-0. And the win for Wolves would take them to 4 points and well out of the bottom three. Teams immediately above them at the moment: Leicester, Crystal Palace, Clinton's old team, in Ipswich Town, all on 2 points at the moment. The ball's dropped here inside the Newcastle half. Lemina flicks it back to Mosquera. Mosquera wants to do something fancy with it, decides against that and plays back to Aït-Nouri. It was the right pass. Aït-Nouri in turn to his goalkeeper Johnston, who's beckoning Andre towards him. Didn't think that ball was on, clears with his left foot. Schär sticks out a leg, intercepts. Murphy knocks it round the corner. Guimaraes battles. Andre does brilliantly. Sort of hook challenge while he was on the floor. Brings it away. Slides the pass through. Lemina being chased by Newcastle defenders. Couple of step overs. Slides his pass with the right foot. It's going to come back to him. And it's an awful bobbling attempt with the left foot that goes well wide of the target. But it was another opportunity for Wolves.
Yeah, it's a player who doesn't score a lot of goals. I know he scored the first one, but when it comes back to him, but I must say Andre's been really impressive there. The way he turns away from Bruno Guimaraes and strides forward, and it's a good little ball into Lemina. He tries to play Cunha, Byrne deals with it, and then it comes back to him and it's a rush shot. But they've grown into the game, Wolves, and that midfield three are now starting to dominate Newcastle's midfield three.
Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1 in the North London derby earlier on today. Sure, we'll get some reaction to that during the half-time break. Second half commentary to come on this, and then commentary on the Solheim Cup. All the reaction to the day's football in the Football Daily podcast on the BBC Sounds app, as Newcastle try to find the equaliser late in this first half. Just over a minute plus added time remaining. Molineux falls silent again. Schär's got his right foot on top of the ball, strokes it back to Byrne. Byrne plays to Hall, just inside the Wolves half, running through the centre circle. Gets his pass past Bellegarde and finds Murphy. Murphy jinks to his right, then moves to his left. Aït-Nouri had a handful of shirt as he made the tackle. Play continues, it's with Guimaraes. Guimaraes shovels a left-footed ball to Hall. Straighter pass from him to Gordon. He goes wide to Joelinton. Makes a run down the left. Joelinton doesn't use that. Finds Guimaraes. Guimaraes across the Wolves half. Livramento lets it run, and here's Murphy. Murphy on the right. Livramento makes the run on the outside. Wolves have all the angles covered at the moment, protecting the 1-0 lead. Layoff from Longstaff to Livramento, and back it comes to Byrne. And Newcastle working ever so hard here to try and create this space. Gordon is wide left. Hall making the run on the outside. Gordon's cross in towards the near post. Mosquera slides in and clears it on the volley. Cunha holds off Gordon. Plays it into the midfield. João Gomez. Low pass from him finds Bellegarde. Bellegarde has so much space to run into down the left-hand side. He's sort of at 60% pace there. Makes about 50 yards. Turns it in field to João Gomez. We're going to have 1 minute of added time. Ball will go up in a second from Simon Hooper. And there we have the bright red 1. And the announcement ringing round Molineux as Semedo receives the pass wide on the right. Here's Andre to his central midfield partner João Gomez. Back to Andre, who's been impressive on this first start for Wolves, the Brazilian international. Back to Sam Johnston. His second game for Wolves as their goalkeeper, having signed from Crystal Palace. Long ball downfield. Hall is up to win the header. Bounces just in front of Guimaraes. He's got Andre right behind him. Guimaraes is fouled. Free kick for Newcastle late in the first half. 20 seconds to go. They're going to go quickly, and Joe Linton nearly got that through to Isak. Cunha was alert to it there, and Isak's gone down. Caught by Dawson accidentally, I think, as Wolves cleared the ball. So we're going to get a delay right at the end of this first half, and Alexander Isak is holding. He's got his right hand over his right eye.
I think he catches him. Dawson puts his. I think it's his hand that catches Isak in the face. I think he puts his hands up straight away. No, it's the ball. It's the ball. Sort of it's the ball. Flicks it, kind of flicks up and skims his head. But Isak never was running that pace there where he looked like he really wanted to get hurt by the defender. Anyway, it was like a 50-50, and he kind of pulled out. But he has caught it.
Bloody nose, I think.
Yeah. So the ball's caught him. Yeah. So he's taking a whack in the face, Alexander Isak. So he's going to need treatment late in this first half. Once he's back on his feet and the game gets back underway, that is pretty much going to be half time. Wolves 1, Newcastle 0. Do Wolves deserve to be in front, do you think, Clinton? Or just took their opportunity? Took their opportunities, I think. It's been an even first half. Newcastle started well, but Wolves have grown in and been the better team. I think Newcastle, apart from Gordon and Isak, they've been the two players that have been on their game, in particular Gordon. But I think Wolves have been the better team, and they've started to control it in midfield. And they've got a threat. The three midfielders are all intelligent footballers and are all good on the ball. And Cunha gives you that bit of X factor, which I think Wolves have missed quite a bit at the start of this season.
Alexander Isak back on his feet, holding a bandage, or cotton wool or tissue, whatever it is, to his nose. Bleeding at the moment, the Swedish international striker. Two members of the medical team with him. And as I say, half-time whistle about to blow. Mario Lemina's goal separating the two teams. Strand Larsen getting away down that right-hand side. The cross, beautiful step over from João Gomez, and stuck into the back of the net by Mario Lemina. Again, very quiet inside Molineux. Drop ball. And that's all we have time for. Bruno Guimaraes thumps that away in frustration. Alexander Isak will get mopped up at half-time. Newcastle were threatening early on, Clinton Morrison, but Wolves came back into the game, and as we were just saying, a really well-worked goal to get them in front.
Yeah, really well-worked goal. Very good. It's probably the best move of the game. Strand Larsen does ever so well, and it gets into the byline, and the over from Gomez is fantastic. That's what makes the goal. And Lemina, another midfielder, getting into the box, and it's a good finish. But yeah, it's been an even game, but you got to take your chances when you're on top, and that's what Wolves done.
Half-time at Molineux then. Wolves 1, Newcastle 0.
Ali, thank you. I think one thing that impressed me in the first half, Clinton, was that defensive shape of Wolves. They were nice and deep. They kind of took Newcastle's pace out of things.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? I was critical of Mosquera against Chelsea because I thought he was all over the place, Fletch. But I think bringing Dawson alongside him gives him that experience and discipline to sit in there. And Semedo had a battle with Gordon, but you're going to have a battle with Gordon because Gordon's a good winger. And Out-Nouri's done well against Murphy as well because he didn't defend well against Chelsea. So the shape looks good. And the three midfielders in front of them have been good.
There was quite a long lingering look on the television just before half-time of Sandro Tonali and Harvey Barnes. I presume that both would be at the forefront of Eddie Howe's mind right now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Them two. And Joe Willock, who can get you goals from midfield, but he's only just coming back. But Tonali, definitely. I think he needs to get up to speed. He's missed a lot of football, but yeah, he needs to get minutes into him. But he's one who can get on the ball, make things happen. And Harvey Barnes, yeah, I'd bring Harvey Barnes on for sure. He's a threat. He wants to take his fullback on, and he scores goals as well. And I think they've been lacking on the right-hand side in Murphy with that. But then it's a problem, Fletch, because what do? Gordon Light's playing on the left. You bring him over to the right. Will he have the same effect?
It's a decision Eddie Howe has to take. Clinton, thank you. Clinton
Cheers.
and Ali back for the second half. Half-time, Wolves leading 1-0 with a nicely worked Mario Lemina goal. We're going to bring you reaction to the North London derby. Arsenal beating Tottenham earlier today. You'll hear from Mikel Arteta and Ange Postecoglou after the 5 Live News with Fraser Dainton.
The voice of the UK.
And the home of the Premier League.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Darren. Good afternoon. Charities have urged the government to find a new approach to dealing with migrants crossing the Channel after another 8 people died at sea. They were among 60 in a boat which hit rocks off the coast of Boulogne-sur-Mer last night. Amnesty International and the Refugee Council said the deaths were avoidable. A former Director General of the UK Border Force, Tony Smith, says despite a record number of deaths this year, migrants are still prepared to board increasingly overcrowded boats.
The only way we're ever going to stop the boats is to come to an agreement with France that any migrants picked up are returned immediately to France. Of course, whether the French government or the EU are prepared to agree to such an arrangement is another thing. But it is a fundamental principle of maritime law that people in distress at sea should be taken back to the nearest safe place, and that clearly is France.
Figures released by the Home Office show that 801 migrants crossed the Channel yesterday, the second highest daily total this year. They were crammed into boats, 14 boats at an average of 57 per craft. 3 columnists have resigned from the Jewish Chronicle after allegations it printed articles by a freelance writer about the Gaza conflict that were based on fabrications. The world's oldest Jewish newspaper, which is published in London, deleted 9 reports because of doubts over their accuracy. One of the 3 who stepped down, Jonathan Friedland, said the articles had disgraced the paper. The Foreign Secretary David Lammy has said careful discussions are taking place about whether Ukraine will be given permission to fire Western missiles into Russia. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged Western leaders to stop putting off their decision. And former US President Donald Trump has been found liable to pay damages to the London singer-songwriter Eddie Grant for using his song Electric Avenue without permission. It's taken more than 4 years to sue the Republican candidate in the US courts over his 2020 campaign video, which used a 40-second clip of the song.
Europe's elite club competition.
The Champions League.
Right here on BBC Radio 5 Live. On Tuesday at 5:45.
It's Young Boys versus Aston Villa, followed by AC Milan against Liverpool.
We are underway in the San Siro.
On Wednesday, Manchester City host Inter.
And on Thursday, Arsenal travel to Atalanta.
And it's powered in. Here we go.
And watch highlights of every single match with Match of the Day, Wednesday night on BBC iPlayer.
The Champions League.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds. BBC Radio 5 Live.
5 Live Sports with Darren Fletcher.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
So second half commentary for Molineux is coming up. Wolves leading Newcastle by 1-0. We'll rejoin Clinton Morrison and Alistair Bruce-Ball shortly. But earlier, Arsenal came out on top. In the North London derby, Gabriel's second half header gave them an important 1-0 victory away to Tottenham. They were without captain Martin Ødegaard and midfielder Declan Rice. Here's manager Mikel Arteta.
I'm really proud for the players, for the staff, for the club, and really happy because we are given this power to make our people happy, and we know what it means to them, so hopefully they can enjoy it this afternoon and tonight and have good memories about it.
How gutsy is it from that team to come here? You've got 7 players out, I think, Declan Rice, Ødegaard not here, and they've produced a performance against their rivals. I mean, it wasn't the most beautiful football, but you was very gutsy, weren't you?
No, but we have to adapt, and I think we have to adapt the plan to obviously have a very different idea during the break than the way I prepared the game. but I have to throw that one to the window and adapt to the players that we had and their qualities. We done exceptionally well, and then we adapted to a context that it was difficult at times in the game, but we loved playing and we enjoy playing, and we had the opportunity, we make it count.
Thoughts on Gabriel and Saliba? Some partnership and a great header.
It was unbelievable, but the same with Ben David. I think he was very, very composed as well and gave us a lot of security and presence. Jurrian hasn't played 90 minutes for over a year right now, and he had to dig in. Jorginho, that hasn't played any football at all this season, and you throw him in as a captain here, and he gives his best. Very happy for the boys, the character that we showed.
And on Martin, how long is the injury? What is the injury? And we know he's out in the international break, but how long is he going to be out?
Once we have the news, I will let you know. I don't want to give you anything, and after that I have to change, but certainly wasn't fit today to play.
So that's Mikel Arteta, and the victory means that Arsenal have made an unbeaten start to the season ahead of their big showdown against Manchester City next weekend. As for Spurs, boss Ange Postecoglou is still yet to win a North London derby.
It's a disappointing game for us, obviously. Big game for us, our supporters, and not coming out on top is, it's fairly painful, obviously, but... Look, tight game. I thought for the most part we controlled it well. We had enough possession and territory. We just didn't do enough with the ball, with the chances we had, and then we switched off for a moment and we paid a price.
When you talk about controlling the match, I think it's 4 games now where you've been happy with the domination, but you just can't get the ball in the net. Are you waiting for it to click? Do you think it's going to click? What do you need to work on?
Oh, no, I don't think it's about waiting for it. We've just got to keep working on it, and that's my role to try and give solutions to the players and give them sort of more avenues to take more advantage of the way we're controlling games at the moment.
Is there specifics that the players need to do better just to sort of force the issue in terms of scoring?
Well, a lot of it's just having a little bit of belief and conviction in there and wanting that responsibility to be the person who takes the opportunity. So but like I said, that's my role to sort of guide them in that way.
What did you make of the Arsenal goal? Because I know set pieces was a thing last season. It was made a big deal of. How disappointing is it for you to start the season and concede from 1 after 4 games?
I thought we handled set pieces okay today. I thought, but they're always a threat, and we switched off for one. And whether it's a set piece or in general play, if you switch off, you're going to pay a price against good teams, and that happened today.
That's the Tottenham Hotspur manager Ange Postecoglou. In the Scottish Premiership, Rangers beat Dundee United by 1-0. That result means Rangers move up to 3rd in the league table and are now 5 points behind the leaders Celtic. And West Brom have gone to the top of the Championship table after beating Portsmouth by 3-0. They're now 1 point ahead of 2nd placed Sunderland. Let's head to Virginia for the final day of the Solheim Cup. At the start of the day, Europe needed a miracle of Medina-style comeback. And golf correspondent Ian Carter, it's been an encouraging start.
It has. It's still not over. And the Americans needing 4.5 points from these 12 singles. They're having to work really hard for them. They are on course, but things could flip, especially in the middle order. We've seen one American victory so far. That was from Megan Kang. She won 6-5 against Emily Pedersen, and that followed a victory from Charlie Hull, which means that the overall score currently is 11-7 of the matches out on the course. The Americans are ahead in 4, Europe are ahead in 5, and the other is all square. So it is tight, it is tense, but Charlie Hull certainly delivered with a 6-4 victory over the world number 1 Nelly Korda, and this is what Hull had to say after that.
Yeah, well, I knew that you had to play unbelievable to beat her, and to beat Nelly. She's a great player, and I played my heart out and I shot, I think I was like 7 under through, I don't even know how many holes I played, so I did what I had to do, and it was a pretty cool moment.
What statement does this send to the rest of your teammates now?
Yeah, just go out there and anything's possible.
Charlie, you don't seem to suffer with any nerves when it comes to the Solheim Cup. How do you manage that?
I just love playing under pressure. I absolutely love it. That's why I always feel like I play well in the majors. I love big events, playing in front of crowds, on hard, tough golf courses, and that's something that I just love doing.
You are buzzing, aren't you?
Yeah, it was really good. Roll on next week now.
Very well done today. Many congratulations. Thanks, Charlie.
I appreciate it. Cheers.
But the Americans are still in control, Ian.
They are. Rose Zhang is almost certainly going to post a point very, very shortly. She's 5 up against Carlotta Siganda. Alison Corpuz 3 up after 13 against Anna Nordquist. So that would take them to 13 within 1.5 points of victory, with Lexi Thompson 3 up against Celine Boutier, and Jennifer Kupcho in the bottom match 3 up. Also, they are on course. Having said that, the Europeans fighting hard, and if they can take it deep, then the pressure will really start to tell on the home team.
Thanks, Ian. Coverage continues right now on Sports Extra and BBC Sounds, and the final stages follows the football here on 5 Live. To tennis, where Great Britain have crashed out of the Davis Cup. They needed to win all 3 matches against Canada this afternoon to make the knockout stage. But Russell Fuller, it wasn't to be.
No, they've lost both the singles, Darren, so they've lost the tie to Canada before the doubles. Felix Auger-Aliassime beating Jack Draper 7-6, 7-5. Draper attempted to smash his racket 5 times at the end of the first set. The brush was required to sweep the pieces away. And before that, Denis Shapovalov beating Dan Evans 6-love, 7-5. Evans is the second most capped player in Great Britain Davis Cup history, but he's been telling me that might have been his final match for his country.
When I got injured earlier on in the year, I had the goal of, trying to get back into the squad and be part of the squad. Thought about it long and hard. I'll have to think a little more, but I think, there's a lot of other good players now. I don't think if I left, there'd be nobody left to play. I think there's some good players to fill and some great doubles options. Although it's a loss today, I sort of see this as a big high for British tennis to get 15,000 people in this arena on Sunday, and it was a special moment to play out there, but not the result we wanted.
So less that you don't feel that you're able to play at this level, but more that you want to make sure that other players, developing players, have a chance.
That, and these weeks, I'm obviously missing a week next week playing, or this week with my ranking, and that's my bread and butter. That's where we earn our crust, or however you want to say it. It's love competing for my country. I've loved every minute of it, but sometimes you got to know when to leave. Yeah.
And have you made up your mind?
No, not yet. I've spoke to who I want to speak to, thought about it, and it's obviously speak to Leon about it. I've not mentioned it to him. I didn't think it was right whilst the tie was on, but I've thought about it, and it'll be a difficult decision, but there's some great players who are coming through, and sometimes it's nice to give somebody else the opportunity and watch from afar.
Dan Evans, who is not playing in the doubles either. Henry Patton, the Wimbledon champion, is coming in to make his GB Davis Cup debut, playing alongside Neil Skupski in a match that will begin in a few minutes' time. And news from the final of the Tunisian Open in Monastir, Darren, where Sonny Kartal, the qualifier, trying to win her first WTA Tour title, and she's going well against Rebecca Sramkova in the final. She's won the first set 6-3, and she leads the second set and has the break advantage by 4-3.
Russell, thank you. Elsewhere today, the deciding men's T20 between England and Australia at Old Trafford was a washout, so it finishes 1-1 in the series. Ireland's women are chasing 170 to beat England in the final women's T20 in Dublin. A short time ago, they were 141 for 2 after 16 overs, and McLaren's Oscar Piastri got his team's first ever win at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 1 or 2 comments being made. Steve says, so Longstaff gives the ball away, Byrne gets skinned and Wolves score. When will Howe stop playing his favourites and play his strongest team? And Emma says Newcastle need to find a way to fit Harvey Barnes into this lineup. They lack penetration without him. Well, we can tell everybody Alistair Bruce Ball has got Clinton Morrison alongside him. Eddie Howe is making changes.
Yeah, 3 changes at half-time. So coming off, Sean Longstaff, Joe Linton and Alexander Isak. Harvey Barnes on for Isak. Joe Willock is coming on for Joe Linton. And Sandro Tonali is coming on for Sean Longstaff. That is decisive action from the manager. I mean, the Isak one is interesting, Clinton, isn't it?
That's got to be an injury. You can't take off your top goal scorer and you haven't got a recognised centre forward, no chance. So I know he got a bit of a knock before. I get the Longstaff one. I get that because Tonali, I don't think Longstaff was good enough in the first half. And maybe Joe Linton was on the yellow card, because usually you don't take a player of Joe Linton. And had a quiet first half, but I was happy Willock's on because you get your goals from midfield. But the Isak one, I'm very surprised.
You did mention that at the end of the first half, so let's see what happens in the second half. It gets underway. Wolves in the old gold and black, playing from left to right in this second half towards that Sir Jack Hayward stand away to our right-hand side. And Newcastle in the change kit. It's the hoops, it's the horizontal stripes, it's dark red and blue shorts, dark red socks with the blue tops, and Harvey Barnes, one of those 3 half-time substitutes, wide on the left. Anthony Gordon taking station sort of through the middle at the moment for Newcastle. Isak took that whack in the face from the ball late in the first half, which drew blood. But you also noticed as well, Clinton, they won a corner, Newcastle, at one point, and Isak was sort of struggling to move a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was hobbling, so maybe it's an injury.
Yeah, Semedo. Good pace from him down the right-hand side. Lewis Hall just runs across him to block him, but doesn't foul him. Nick Pope's clearance goes straight up in the air. Strand Larsen tries to bring it down for Wolves. It gets away from him, and Guimaraes feeds Barnes. Hall on the outside. Barnes decides to continue to bring it forward, then releases Hall. Hall has got Andre, the Brazilian midfielder for Wolves, in front of him. Finds Willock, edge of the penalty area, lays it back to Guimaraes. Guimaraes' right-footed curler, and Johnston has it covered all the way, and it's a strong palm with both hands of the ball away to his left, and it goes out for a corner to Newcastle.
Well, at least they've tested Sam Johnson, and that's what you want, but it's not good for my FPL points, Ali. Isak going off. Needing him to get a couple. It's been a bad weekend.
Well, Anthony Gordon is on the ball for Newcastle. Low cross from him. Willock tries to get an effort on goal. Wolves get enough bodies in the way to block it. Comes out of Fabian Schär, right-footed effort, and that is just wide. Just wide of the top left corner of Sam Johnston's goal. We've seen Fabian Schär score a few in his time, and at the moment, Clinton, we've got Newcastle players surrounding the referee, possibly appealing for a penalty.
They want a handball. Surely that's the only reason why. Now, you can't be given that. I know Dawson, he don't know the ball. That's not going to be given. That's nowhere near that's going to be given.
Yeah, it's the low cross from Gordon. Willock slides in, side foots the ball. It hits Dawson, and then goes up onto his arm as he's it's his supporting arm as he's down on the floor. I think if that was right on the goal line, there was no one else in the way, potentially because it's stopping the ball rolling into the back of the net. But from there,
he doesn't know a lot about it, does he?
No,
it's stuck under his feet.
No, so that's waved away very quickly. Dramatic start to the second half then, but no penalty given for Newcastle. They've made the 3 changes. Wolves lead by 1-0. Willock's right-footed ball is looking for the run of Barnes. Barnes will beat Semedo to it. Into the Wolves penalty area on the left. Stands the cross up to the far post. Aït-Nouri heads it away. Chased back by Murphy. Lays it off here to Livramento. He's shown too much of that to Bellegarde, who's back doing defending for Wolves. I will run you through the 2 team lineups again in just a second as Aït-Nouri clears. Cunha lets that go, hoping it would reach Lemina, and it doesn't, and Newcastle have it again, and they recycle to build another attack, and it's Lewis Hall bringing the ball forward from left back, delays on the cross, finds Harvey Barnes to his left, prods a little ball back to Willock on the edge of the penalty area. Willock with Andre in front of him, finds Gordon, turns, shoots, it's hit Dawson straight in the face, who's gone down and stayed down. The referee has seen that and will have to stop the game because that hit him at real pace. I think he's going to be okay. Wolves 1, Newcastle 0. This is early stages of the second half at Molineux, and while Craig Dawson just recovers from the blow he's taken from that shot from Anthony Gordon, let's check in on the Solheim Cup latest with our golf correspondent Ian Carter.
Point for Europe delivered by Georgia Hall, 4-3 winner over Alison Lee. So the overall score now is that the United States lead by 11 points to 8. Europe still have a chance of a remarkable comeback here, but they need something from that middle order. News from the Irish Open, by the way, Ali. Couple of back 9 bogeys did for Rory McIlroy, and it's Rasmus Højgaard who has won the Irish Open there.
OK, thank you, Ian. Commentary of the Solheim Cup continues. Europe still fighting, still in it at the moment, over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. And in less than an hour's time, I'd guess, after the football here, then that Solheim Cup commentary will be on 5 Live. Gordon blocks the clearance from Johnston. It gets away from him. Had that been directly in front of goal, that would have just bounced into the back of the net, and Newcastle would have had their equaliser. So Wolves have had a warning there. They've got Sam Johnston in goal, Nelson Semedo, Gerson Mosquera, Craig Dawson, the 2 centre-backs, Aït-Nouri at left-back, João Gomes, Mario Lemina, and Andre, the Brazilian, been impressive on his first start for the club today. Bellegarde and Cunha in support of Strand Larsen. Johnston clears with his right foot. Lemina, the goal scorer, flicks the header forward. Bellegarde lays it off to Aït-Nouri. Delightful little touch on the laces of his boot. Controls it, plays it back to João Gomes. Dawson across to Mosquera. Mosquera Back to Johnston. First time clearance from him. The ball bounces. Livramento's taken an accidental whack in the face. Wolves keep playing. Bellegarde is knocked over as he loses the ball, but it stays in Wolves' possession. Lovely bit of skill from Ait Nouri. Just showed Willett the ball, dragged it away from him and kept going. Now Wolves have it over on the right-hand side. Leading Newcastle by a 1-0. Wolves looking for this first Premier League win of the season, having lost to Arsenal on the opening weekend, got thumped 6-2 by Chelsea and got the 1-1 draw away to Nottingham Forest before the international break. Mosquera gives it to João Gomes, who's immediately pounced upon by Tonali and Guimarães, lost it. Dawson's ball forward for Wolves, not a good one, intercepted by Hall. Willock takes that pass, gets away from Lemina, keeps going. Andre makes the tackle, this time for Wolves. The fans love that. Now Lemina, short pass forward to Cunha, lays it off to Semedo. Lovely ball down the right for Cunha to get onto. Strand Larsen's down in the middle of the field. Referee saw that. Dan Burn comes sliding in on Cunha. Cunha then barges into Dan Burn, and Burn knocks the ball out of play for a throw into Wolves. So tempers flaring a little just as play was building down the right hand side there. Dan Burn gets booked now for the little afters with Mateus Cunha. I think what Burn's annoyed about is he felt that the sort of barge on him from Cunha wasn't a sort of classic 50-50. It was just a barge to knock him off the ball. But as play built up there down the right for Wolves, Clinton, Strand Larsen was making a run in the middle, and I think Wolves felt he was brought down. I think that was just him tripping over some legs.
Yeah, it's a needless yellow card for Dan Burn, because he struggled there with Cunha running in behind, so now he has to watch for the whole game. So they don't need him getting injured. They've already short of centre halves already with the injuries to Botman and Lascelles.
Lemina from the throw manages to get this ball back to Semedo. What Wolves would give for a second goal, a 2-goal cushion in this game. Early stages of the second half, 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. As Dawson finds Ait Nouri, across to Bellegarde, 15 yards into the Newcastle half. Bellegarde to Ait Nouri. Andre wants it, onto it, quickly gets the ball out to the right to Semedo. Semedo passes it beyond Barnes. Lemina takes it, feeds it into the penalty area. Strand Larsen hits the post. Right-footed first-time effort. I think Pope thought it might be going the other way. He went for the near post, and it's clipped the outside of that post, and Wolves very nearly did get that second goal. They keep the ball in play, still inside the Newcastle half on the right-hand side, and suddenly it's getting a bit louder inside Molineux this afternoon. Dawson's lofted ball wide to the right to Cunha, nearly knocked that inside Lewis Hall. Hits Hall, goes out for a throw to Wolves.
Yeah, it's midfield again. It's Lemina getting Strand Larsen. It's a good run and it's a good strike, to be fair. I think Fabian Schär does enough, and he can't beat Nick Pope at the near post. He's unlucky to hit the post, but good movement. But Wolves have come out and have been the better team again.
Throw in for Wolves on the right. Loudest it's been so far this evening. 8 minutes gone, second half. Attacking position as well for Wolves. Semedo throws it to Cunha, back to Semedo. Willock leaps in with the challenge. Willock's fouled. Free kick for Wolves. Newcastle then Nick Pope in goal. Livramento, Schär, Burn and Lewis Hall. Bruno Guimarães is flanked by Sandro Tonali and Joe Willock now in this second half. Anthony Gordon is through the middle. Harvey Barnes on the left and Jacob Murphy on the right-hand side. Fans have got into it. Players getting fired up too. Promises to be an entertaining second half as Pope clears with his right foot. Mosquera battles with Gordon. Andre is there, wins it again for Wolves. Done a lot of that for them this afternoon. Bellegarde goes down. Livramento came through the back of him, didn't get the ball. That's going to be a free kick for Wolves.
Yeah, I think Bellegarde got on top of Livramento a few times where he's tried to nick the ball, and Bellegarde's done ever so well to use his body. If I'm Eddie Howe, I'm probably trying to bring on Almiron as well, because I think Murphy's been ineffective on that right-hand side. But I think having to make those 3 changes at half-time, maybe the Isak one, well, I know it must be an injury, Isak. There would be no other reason why you'd take off your only natural goal scorer in the team.
Yeah, we'll ask Eddie Howe about that after the game. All the reaction to the day's football in the Football Daily podcast. Always there for you on the BBC Sounds app. Checkered Flag podcast there as well. After today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Oscar Piastri winning that one. Lando Norris passing Max Verstappen late on, which means he's now 59 points behind him in the Drivers' Championship with 7 races to go. Here's Andre Floated ball with his right foot out to Semedo. Wolves in control at the moment, leading 1-0. Newcastle, having made the 3 changes, haven't found their rhythm in the second half. Dan Burn's booking was for dissent. That's been confirmed by the Premier League. So for something said after the decision to the referee, Christopher Kavanagh. Tonali is dragged to the floor. Wolves fans don't like it. Free kick for Newcastle. Dan Burn wants to take it quickly. Kick the ball out of Cunha's hand. Burn and Cunha still going at it. Those were the two involved in the incident that led to the Burn booking. Free kick taken. Here's Harvey Barnes on the move for Newcastle. Curling cross into the penalty area. Dawson volleys it away. That runs to Mario Lemina. Powerful driving run from the Wolves captain and goal scorer. Willock is able to sort of slow him down, but Lemina still has it. Finds Andre. Andre again, turning under pressure, using the ball well. He's been good, hasn't he, Clinton?
He has been good. He's been neat and tidy. I like him. He's effective. He's a midfielder. He's always on the half turn, trying to look forward. He's been really good. You know, if you're a Newcastle striker, the Willisula, you must be thinking, when am I going to give him my opportunity? He paid for me. I know it's a youngster they bought for the future, but when you've got no natural striker out there, I'm surprised he didn't come on.
Yeah, Danish striker, 21 years old, joined in the summer from Sheffield United. Callum Wilson, of course, is still out injured at the moment. Wolves leading Newcastle by 1-0. And having the better of it at the moment, the home team. A win that'll take them out of the bottom 3 in the Premier League. Andre's ball across the halfway line to Cunha, who is so important to this Wolves team, as well as the Champions League commentaries this week. We'll have some League Cup football for you on Sports Extra as well. Here's Joao Gomez. Finds Semedo. That pass was just behind him, so he had to stop in his tracks there and has played it back to Mosquera. Tuesday night we've got full commentary, Manchester United against Barnsley on Sports Extra in the League Cup, and then Wednesday night Coventry against Tottenham. Both of those kick off at 7:45. Here's Dawson inside his own half. Dawson looking for options, can't see them, slides the pass down the right to Cunha. One touch, turns away from Hall, nearly got fouled. Brilliant from Mateus Cunha. Good pass as well to find Semedo. Semedo's cross into the danger area, headed away at the near post by Schär. Strand Larsen have made the run. Good defending by Fabian Schär.
Yeah, good defending from Schär, but brilliant from Cunha. I said he's the most important player for me in that Wolves team. He links everything. He's a clever footballer, he's strong. And he just rolls Lewis Hall like he's not there, and it was good defending, you're right, from Schär.
So corner to come for Wolves, leading Newcastle by 1-0. Molineux now in much better voice in this second half. Cunha, the main man, is enjoying the singing, nodding his head confidently as he comes over to take this corner from the right. Looks up, delivers with his right foot, an away swinger, headed high and over the crossbar. Wolves felt the last touch came from a Newcastle player. Referee Christopher Kavanagh doesn't agree. That is going to be a goal kick to Newcastle coming up to the hour mark. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1, in case you hadn't heard, in the Premier League earlier on today. So you've got Manchester City top of the table on 12 points, Arsenal on 10. Newcastle, were they to turn around and win this, they would also be on 10. And we have Manchester City against Arsenal, 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League next Sunday. Full commentary here on Radio 5 Live. Lewis Hall for Newcastle. Back to Burn. Burn with his right foot speeds a pass across the face of the Newcastle penalty area to Schär. Schär trots forward down the right, curls the ball back across field to Willock, who's in a load of space here for Newcastle. Lays it off to Barnes. Barnes always wants to come in on that right foot. Willock makes the run on the outside. Left-footed cross from him is deep to the far post. Murphy wants it to drop for a volley. Aït-Nouri has it covered. Nods it behind for a corner. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it's good play from Willock and Barnes. They're the two bright spots for Newcastle this half. Willock wants to run him beyond him. He gets into little pockets in midfield, and he's a threat going forward. But it's good defending from Aït-Nouri. He's defended really well so far.
Jacob Murphy was about to take the corner, and Lewis Hall says, "Leave it to me." Comes trotting over. Applause from the Newcastle fans over on that far side of the ground in the Steve Bull stand. Hall places the ball very deliberately on the edge of the quadrant, holds both arms in the air, delivers that with his left foot, edge of the 6-yard box. Nodded up but not clear. Burn heads it back into the danger area. Shot on target from Tonali's a soft one and straight at Johnston, who makes a very comfortable catch.
Yeah, he didn't really hit it. I know it was tight. It was the outside of his right foot. I think Barnes and Burn do ever so well to keep it alive. Little flick there from Barnes, and I thought he maybe could take it with his left foot.
Wolves quickly on the front foot again. Semedo on the right. Not too many players with him, so he's come back to Lemina. Now Mosquera. Anthony Gordon chasing really hard to put pressure on Johnston. Tonali, another one of those like Anthony Gordon. I think the international break did him the world of good because he hasn't played that much competitive football recently and played in both of Italy's wins against France and Israel in the Nations League. So I think sometimes the managers, it has its benefits sometimes for some players. Eddie Howe was saying exactly that about Anthony Gordon, the football he got for England in the recent break. We've reached the hour mark and Wolves are leading Newcastle by a goal to nil. Ironic cheers and jeers as Lewis Hall slips, coming into close. Semedo down, Andre on the ball. Short, stocky Brazilian midfielder with that old gold shirt untucked. As Wolves play down the left, Ait-Nouri in a bit of space. Cher's gone out there to cover it. Livramento's behind him. Ait-Nouri's got Bellegarde nearby. Slides a pass back here into the midfield. Andre is there again. Back to Dawson, across to Mosquera. Wolves are making Newcastle chase for this. Mosquera to Lamina. Lamina goes early cross, looking for Strand Larsen's header. Pope saves and the rebound falls at the feet of Dan Burn, who's able to bring the ball away. Lovely ball from Mario Lamina, and the header was straight at the keeper.
Brilliant from Lamina. Dan Burn doesn't know where Strand Larsen is. He just runs off of him. It's poor defending. Good movement from Strand Larsen, but good save from Nick Pope. But the ball from Lamina is outstanding.
Oh, Bellegarde slides in to win the ball, keeps it in play. Might turn into an attacking opportunity. Kunius Killer is well off target and goes behind for the goal kick. Much, much better from Wolves. Been a tough start to the season for them.
You're right, it is better because you know when it's better because the fans are getting into it. It was quiet in the first half, they're now getting into it, and that's down to the players.
Got to keep it going in this second half. Plenty of time for Newcastle to come back in. Europe still battling hard in the Solheim Cup. Commentary continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. And the ball is out to Harvey Barnes here on the left-hand side, who is able to bring it forward. Wolves are backing off at the moment. Barnes is 25 yards from their goal. Feeds Guimaraes. Guimaraes goes back to the left-hand side. Low to Hall. Willock makes a forward run just inside the penalty area. Back to Hall again. Barnes is there to offer support. Gets it out from under his feet. Rolls it to Guimaraes. Guimaraes again. To his left sees Hall. Corner of the Wolves penalty area. Willock again's there on the left. Willock felt he was offside. He was coming towards Hall. The pass has gone past him. It's not run out of play, and Johnston realises that, races to the ball, clears it with his right foot. Burn under a bit of pressure here. Doesn't get much on that. Lewis Hall steps in to help out and knocks the ball to Cher, and Cher brings it across the halfway line for Newcastle. Low curling pass to the right to Jacob Murphy. Run made forward by the Italian Tonali. Followed by Ait-Nouri, slides in, that's a foul. And he's going to possibly need a bit of treatment there. Free kick for Newcastle coming. Quickly back to the goal for Ian Carter.
Another point for the United States. Rose Zhang beating Carlotta Saganda 6-4. Overall score 12-8 to the Americans. Now they're ahead in 4 of the other matches. Still out on the course, but Europe not without hope.
12-8. 2.5 points for the USA to win back the Solheim Cup. Europe have had it for the last 3. No one's ever won 4 in a row before. The last match, of course, finished tied, which meant that Europe retained the trophy. 14 points would be enough for them. Still a very tall order. But as we know, with the Ryder Cup and Solheim Cup and Curtis Cup and Walker Cup, you get some very dramatic finishes. Livramento's coming off. Kieran Trippier is coming on. That'll mean more good delivery for Newcastle from the dead ball situations from the right-hand side. But Livramento, very much the starting right back for Newcastle so far this season.
There could have been a thought where you could put Livramento as a centre-half and maybe sacrifice Dan Burn. I'm just saying because the pace is causing Dan Burn a lot of problems at the moment, and he has been booked. And I know why Trippier is on for his delivery.
So this is a free kick for Newcastle on the right, and Trippier is straight on to take the free kick. So this will be his first touch of the ball. Dan Burn is having a right old wrestling match with Mario Lamina inside the penalty area. Chris Kavanagh spotted that and comes over and has a word, but as soon as he turns his back, you know what's going to happen. They're just going to get to it again. Almost 20 minutes played in the second half. Wolves leading 1-0. Trippier's free kick into the near post, doesn't beat Cunha, heads it away. Good control by Jacob Murphy. Floats another cross in, headed from Burn, which is a lofted one, and Johnston has it covered all the way. It loops over the bar onto the roof of the net and goes behind for the goal kick. Next up for Newcastle, trip to Fulham, and then the following week away to Wimbledon in the League Cup, which is going to be a 5 live commentary that night, and then they host Manchester City. But this one's not going to plan at the moment. Trailing Wolves by a goal to 0. Solheim Cup commentary will follow us. NFL on Sports Extra tonight from 9 o'clock. That's the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs for your regular NFL slot on Sunday night on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Dawson, powerful header away. Byrne matches that power, launches a header back into the Wolves half. Murphy tries to keep it in play, it bobbles away from him. Ait-Nouri stretches, gets a toe on that. Murphy says that should be a corner. Assistant referee disagrees and points his flag and says that is going to be a goal kick.
It's just been lackluster. Even with the changes they've made, Newcastle in the second half, only one shot from Bruno Guimaraes, Sam Johnson, where it's a save you expect him to make, but haven't really created anything. And that is, well, we're going to hear from Eddie Howe, and hopefully he says Isak is an injury. And if it is an injury, he's really only got young Willis Sula at the moment. He probably doesn't trust Ali.
Close-up shots at Molineux here of some of the Newcastle hierarchy, including the sporting director Paul Mitchell. So that's been the big story following the transfer window and Mark Gahey not getting signed. Paul Mitchell's sit-down session with the press and Eddie Howe's response this week. It's not all been roses this summer for Newcastle. Barnes trying to run onto a ball into the Wolves half. Dawson saw the danger, throws himself at it, cleanly makes contact with the ball, sliding forward and smashes it downfield, and it goes behind for a Newcastle goal kick. So less than 25 minutes to play. Wolves 1, Newcastle 0. And the ball is with Tonali inside his own half. Back here to Cher. Trippier now the right back. Goes scampering down that right hand side. Anthony Gordon comes deep to get involved. Forward here to Murphy. Lovely ball from him to Willock. Willock has Barnes on his left hand side. Good from Newcastle this. Barnes works it to his left foot. Close to goal now. Hits the shot at the tight angle. Mosquera blocks it. Ball spins up in the air. Cunha is there. Gets his body in the way. It hits him. Does he prevent it from going behind for a corner? No, that is going to be a corner for Newcastle.
That was better. We haven't really mentioned a lot of Anthony Gordon because I don't think he's as effective through the middle as he is on the left-hand side, and that's the sacrifice you make when you have to make those changes. But it was good play from Harvey Barnes. I think maybe he could have cut it back, but he's going for goal.
Corner then for Newcastle. Nice to see Barnes go on the outside there as well, having cut in quite a lot on the right foot previously. Trippier takes the corner. High, deep one towards the back post. Aimed at Byrne. Nods it down into the ground. Goalkeeper Sam Johnson says that's mine. Catches the bouncing ball. Wolves retain the clean sheet so far. We are midway through the second half. And Wolves still lead Newcastle by a goal to 0. Dan Byrne booked for dissent after the little sort of contretemps with Mateus Cunha. It reminds me, I've got a little note scribbled down here. When we get a moment, Clinton, I need to ask you about trash talking on the field, because Kyle Walker's been talking about that in his podcast. Here's Cunha bursting into space inside the penalty area for Wolves. Hits it hard, hits the post. And Nick Pope was close at that near post there, but I think that struck the post rather than his left arm. So again, Wolves so close to that second goal, can't find it. And now a quick throw for Newcastle. Now both feet weren't on the floor there. That is a foul throw. Willock, in his desperation to get the throw away, has lifted a foot off the floor. And so that will be a Wolves throw. Back to the goal, Ian Carter.
America now 1.5 points away from victory. 13-8. Alison Corpus 4-3 winner over Anna Nordqvist. But the remaining matches on the course are all in the balance. Europe not without hope here. There are only 2 down in one of them, only 1 down in the other 2.
Thank you, Ian. Sorry, I think Clinton was going to ask a question about the yellow card given there rather than the goal.
Yeah,
I think it was
a yellow card. Tyndall got booked because, you know, when he picked up the ball off the cone and threw it quickly, so he must have come out of his box. So is that the rules? You're not allowed to do that, Al?
Yeah.
Because that's why I think he's booked him, because he tried to take a quick throw one. So that's why I think the fourth official's explaining it to him. You can't do that.
No stranger to a yellow card. I don't think, Jason
definitely
Tyndall. No. Commentary continues on the Gulf over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Wolves still leading Newcastle by a goal to 0, and I did Nick Pope a disservice. It was a big left arm from him that actually made the save. That was a proper reflex save from Nick Pope, but they've hit the post in this second half with the Strand Larsen header. That the save from Cunha, and that's the worry, I think, Clinton, for the Wolves fans. Another yellow card now given in this game, so they are starting to rack up. That one has gone to Nelson Semedo, who committed the foul, has hurt himself in making the foul, has got booked and has decided he needs a sit down. So Newcastle are getting frustrated with that. Hwang Hee-chan is about to come on for Wolves, and he's going to replace Jean Rickner Bellegarde. The worry for Wolves, Clinton, it's the obvious one. We always say this. They're 1-0 up, playing well in the second half, hit the post. Pope's made the save, haven't been able to score that second goal. And Newcastle are looking dangerous at times.
They are looking dangerous, and all it takes is a moment to score. And Newcastle will create another big chance. They definitely will create one, and as if they can take it. But there's a good chance from Cunha. He kind of slowed down because no one come across. Like Burn didn't come across. Lewis Hall, he ran away from them, and I was thinking he's going to just drill it to bottom corner. That's the only criticism you'd have of Cunha. Fantastic footballer. Can he get more goals? But then I think if he gets more goals, he's not at Wolverhampton Wanderers. That's for sure.
Clinton Morrison with us, 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Solheim Cup commentary on the way. It's still in the balance at the moment. That commentary is over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Hwang Hee-chan is on. He has scored 4 goals in 5 Premier League games against Newcastle. So can he do it again for Wolves here to try and seal a win? But it's Newcastle attacking at the moment in the dark red and blue hoops. The ball is played from Trippier into the feet of Murphy. Murphy beats João Gomez, still has a lot to do wide on the right. João Gomez sticking to the task. Murphy's now on his knees, picks himself up. Ait Nouri is there, Trippier's in there. It's a right old bundle down by the corner flag, and Ait Nouri scrapes it away for a throw-in to Newcastle on the right. And the closer this gets to the finish at 1-0, the more the nerves are going to build. You can almost feel that inside Molineux at the moment, particularly as Newcastle attack with Guimaraes, and Ait Nouri's in his way, and there's a challenge on Guimaraes, and Newcastle win a corner, and Guimaraes immediately slaps that down in the quadrant and goes trotting into the penalty area, and Kieran Trippier gets ready to take, repositions the ball with his left hand, thinks about going early. Wolves have every single player back inside the penalty area as Trippier delivers. That is not a good one, but it's cleared to the edge of the box. One touch to Nali, second touch, couldn't get the shot away, lays it off to Murphy. Trippier wants it on the right hand side. Hwang saw it coming, Trippier had run into the offside position. Free kick for Wolves.
Poor from Murphy, put the ball in the box. The angle that Trippier wants the ball anyway, he's not going to be able to deliver it. Just put the ball back into the danger area. You've got Cher and Dan Burn who are a threat in the air. It's frustrating when you're watching from up here, but obviously I've been out there before and you can make the wrong decisions.
So Kyle Walker's podcast, You'll Never Beat Kyle Walker, in the latest episode, Clinton, he was talking about a memory, I think early in his career.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what he's talking about?
No,
Giving you a bit
of I know, because I was on the podcast this week, so you're going to hear my response. I went in and was on his podcast this week, so I kind of surprised him. He didn't know I was coming.
Lovely.
And he was trash talking me. I remember.
So hang on, but who trash talked who in the game?
He said I made a tackle on him, and then I said get up, and he was a youngster, so I was giving it to him, and I said you got no chance and stuff like that, and yeah, I can't. He said, well, you helped me because you kind of made me man up a bit. So I'll take the credit for Kyle Walker's fantastic career.
Latest episode available on the BBC Sounds app. Willock's trying to get away down the left. He's fouled by Andre. It's going to be a yellow card for the Brazilian. So the yellow cards are starting to come thick and fast. Andre in the book. Nelson Semedo recently in the book for Wolves. Newcastle have taken their free kick. Willock's on the move up to the corner of the penalty area. Lays it back to Gordon. Gordon out to Barnes. Barnes up against Semedo. He's got to be careful on that yellow card. Back to Hall. Here's Tonali. Trippier was making a run wide on the right, but he's found Guimaraes. Guimaraes is tackled by João Gomez, and the ball spins back into the Wolves box. And it ends up at the feet of the goalkeeper, Sam Johnston. So, 17 minutes plus added time remaining, and Wolves still leading Newcastle by 1-0.
Eddie Howe, I'm probably throwing on the youngster, Will Asula. You need a natural number 9 up there, and I think maybe push Gordon out to the left and Harvey Barnes to the right, and just because Gordon's more effective on the wide, and you might as well see what the youngster can do and give him the last 15 minutes.
Willock flicks the ball up to himself inside the centre circle, inside his own half, does well. Finds Hall moving forward at speed, curls it in towards Gordon. That's easy for Dawson to deal with though. Andre's got time. Little ball forward to Cunha. Cunha saying slow it down, calm it down, receives it, plays it back to Semedo. Semedo to Mosquera, back to the goalkeeper Johnston, across to Dawson. Wolves playing across their own penalty area. Barnes senses an opportunity. Mosquera takes it away from him. Pass forward, easily intercepted. Danger now for Wolves. Play to Murphy inside the penalty area. Cross comes in. Guimaraes nearly got on to the end of it. Falls nicely for Dawson. Dawson scoops it away with his left foot, and that can only go out of play for a throw-in. There's just a bit of Newcastle pressure building here.
No, there is. Wolves are trying to play out from the back, but they have to be careful because it's a difficult ball from Mosquera, and I think if he gets his head up, Murphy, Barnes is free at the back post.
Guimaraes, little 1-2 with Tonali. Across it comes here to Willett. Touch and turn from him. Edge of the box. Tries to work it on the right foot. Guimaraes gets it back. Edge of the D. Space on the right for Murphy. Fabian Schär fancies it. Big deflection, top corner.
Wow.
It's the equaliser. The Newcastle fans go berserk. The deflection played a huge part in the goal. Fabian Schär can certainly hit them, but as soon as it took the deflection, you knew Sam Johnston was getting nowhere near that. It's Wolves 1, Newcastle 1.
Yeah, you said the pressure was building. Would they get the opportunity? It's fortunate, to be fair, because it's a good strike from Fabian Schär, but I think Johnston saves it comfortably. I think it takes a deflection of Dawson. He's the unlucky man. And as a defender, you're coming out and you want to block it, and it's really unfortunate and flies into that top corner. But if you don't shoot, Ali, you don't score. Yeah, Dawson's head just nicks off his head and wrong foot Sam Johnston, and it makes it fly into the top corner.
Best view of it now on the replay from here. He lines it up. I think you're right. I think Johnston is going to save that if it doesn't take the big deflection. Then it really does take it away from Johnston, and he's got absolutely no chance. So 1-1.
I don't think they make changes now.
No.
I think what they take home with them, or they try and go on and get the winner.
Wolves player down, receiving a bit of treatment, having conceded the goal as well. I'm just trying to work out who that is who's down receiving treatment at the moment. I think it might be Andre.
It's Andre. Sorry.
Andre in the blue boots. Yeah.
I think, what is his first start, is it?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's just trying to get to the pace of the Premier League. I think young Doyle will come on.
Yeah, they're going to make a change, aren't they? You can see Tommy Doyle's getting ready to come on.
And is that Matt Doherty maybe for Semedo, who's been away on international duty as well?
Yeah. So, Wolves pegged back. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Newcastle now with the bit between their teeth will fancy the win here, trying to get themselves up to 10 points in that Premier League table, level with Arsenal, and just 2 behind Manchester City. And Wolves have had those chances in the second half. Came close to scoring that second goal. Weren't able to do that. And Andre is coming off here. So he has played 76 minutes today for Wolves. Substitute appearance against Nottingham Forest. Picked up a little knock there just before coming off. But from what we saw so far, Clinton, good signing, impressive stuff.
Very impressive. You can see why he's a Brazilian international, because he can take the ball in tight areas. He's comfortable in possession, always looking to go forward. And listen, it's his first game. He's getting used to the pace of the Premier League. It's totally different, but he can be really pleased with his debut. I thought he was outstanding.
Joao Gomez on the ball for Wolves. So a really fascinating 13 minutes plus added time ahead here at Molineux, and Wolves suddenly respond here, having conceded the equaliser. Plenty of their players are forward. Ait Nouri in a very central position, so is Lamina. Doherty's on the ball. It's played back to Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle's now made that permanent move from Manchester City here to Wolves. Mosquera across to Dawson. Nothing Dawson could really do. Had to try and block the shot from Schär. Don't even know if he was trying to do that. Just get his body in the way. Touch took it into the top corner. Doherty's slightly miscued pass. Reaches Cunha. Hits it hard into the body of Hall and goes behind for a Wolves corner. I think we might have quite a lively sort of 10 minutes or so ahead.
We will. I think both teams will go for it. It always happens when you score, you sit back. I don't know why teams do that, and that's what Newcastle have done, and Wolves come out again. So we will have a lively. You're right, Al.
Tommy Doyle then gets ready to take the corner for Wolves. 1 point on the board so far this season. Point today not enough to take them out of the bottom 3. And here is Doyle with that corner. Right-footed delivery. Good claim by the goalkeeper Nick Pope. Edge of his 6-yard box. Scrambled to his feet quickly. Trippier's calling for it. Pope skids a throw across the floor to give it to Trippier. Trippier comes scampering up the pitch down the right-hand side. Ball here for Murphy. Murphy stretches to control that. Turns, takes it infield. Then plays it out.
That's Schär.
His right.
That's the centre-back in a right-wing position.
Schär over on the right wing, having scored the equaliser, the deflected shot that went in off Dawson. Schär again. Finds Tonali. Back to Schär. Edge of the Wolves box. Guimaraes. Schär's made the run. Tight angle. Lays it back looking for Gordon. And Mosquera is there just in time for Wolves to knock it behind for the corner. Fabian Schär, how about that?
Brilliant, to be fair. That's why he was in the right wing position. He's comfortable in possession. I thought he was going to cut it. It's a good little 1-2. Good ball from Bruno Guimaraes. And I thought he was going to cut it back to Gordon, but it was good defending in the end.
Gordon, little flick from the corner here. Plays it to Murphy. Back it comes to Trippier. 30 yards out. On the right, now to Hall. Hall's cross into the near post. Cunha's there for Wolves, stretches and heads it away. Ait Nouri completes the clearance with a volley. Newcastle fans sense this is there for the taking at the moment, and Wolves might be getting a little bit nervous. They take their throw quickly. Trippier decides to come back to his goalkeeper Nick Pope, who's in the middle of his own half. Right-footed ball from him out to Harvey Barnes on the left-hand side. Barnes comes tracking infield with the ball at his feet. Willock on the outside of him receives the pass, flicks it to Barnes. Edge of the Wolves penalty area, burst of speed away from Doherty, curling shot, unbelievable strike from Harvey Barnes to get Newcastle in front. Brought it in from the left-hand side. He knew exactly what he was going to try and do, but didn't he do that well? Poor old Sam Johnston had no chance with that one either. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2.
Oh, that is magnificent. And that is why Newcastle fans were saying at half-time, you have to find a way of trying to get Harvey Barnes into this team. He's got that X factor. It's only 2 or 3 years ago talking about him maybe possible for England. Once he comes inside, Matt Doherty has to stay with him. He wants to come onto his right foot, but once he's on his right foot, the finish is magnificent. 20 yards out, he just bends it into that top corner. Fantastic goal from a bright young player, but it's brilliant the way he picks it up. But there, Al, he only wants to come into his right foot. You have to not let him go inside, and then another defender has to come across. But take nothing away. What a strike.
What a strike. 2 goals so far this season.
Ooh.
1 against Tottenham. That is a stunner here at Molineux. Match of the day 2, BBC 1, 10:30 on the iPlayer as well. Check that goal out. Cruel blow for Wolves. 1-0 up in this game. Further chances to take the lead, weren't able to do that, and now they find themselves 2-1 behind, and we're in the last 10 minutes of the game, and Newcastle are heading up that Premier League table. They are going to move into 3rd spot, level on points with Arsenal on 10, 2 behind Manchester City. Late changes coming for Wolves in the game as well. Gonçalo Guedes, Portuguese striker, is waiting to come on, as is Carlos Forbes, winger on loan from Ajax, who is about to make his Wolves debut. But Newcastle now lead 2-1. Here's Tommy Doyle for Wolves. Crosses the halfway line. Wolves waiting to make the double change. Newcastle just completely standing off Tommy Doyle here, and Tommy Doyle is not entirely sure what to do. Dawson threads a pass through to Lamina, plays it back to Dawson. Dawson didn't really want that back, just inside the Newcastle half. João Gomez gets involved. Pass across to Mosquera. Back to Dawson again. Here's Doyle. Doyle's pass to the left to Ait-Nouri. This game finished 2-2 last season. Could do the same again if Wolves can find an equaliser here. Ait-Nouri, edge of the box, looking for the 1-2 with Gomez. Cleared away by Newcastle. Mosquera is going to chase hard to keep this ball in play. Wolves have a player down, Ait-Nouri. They're going to stop the game here. Cunha crosses in. Is the game stopping? No, it isn't. They're going to keep playing. João Gomez controls the clearance. Looks for Cunha. Ait-Nouri hobbles to his feet. He's hopping inside the Newcastle penalty area at the moment. Tommy Doyle gets on the ball. 40 yards from the Newcastle goal. Plays it wide to Hwang. Hwang back onto his right foot in the bright blue boots. Finds Dawson. Newcastle sitting very deep here now, defending a 2-1 lead into the last 10 minutes of this game on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. Doherty, little 1-2 with João Gomez. Newcastle back in defensive shape. Doherty comes back into his own half to Mosquera. Mosquera plays the ball across to Dawson, and again Newcastle just stand off. Doherty making a run down the right hand side. Dawson thought about releasing that pass. Gary O'Neill's getting frustrated here, but there's not enough options for the man on the ball. Dawson looking for the one through to Cunha, intercepted by Byrne. Newcastle going to be dangerous on the break. Guimaraes caught in the centre circle, and that is going to be a free kick to Newcastle, and Guimaraes is hurt. Now then, tennis news for you away from the Davis Cup. We can report some British success. Here's our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller.
What an amazing summer Sonia Kartal is having. 298 in the world before Wimbledon. She'll be a top 100 player tomorrow, and she's just won her first WTA title, beating Rebecca Sramkova 6-3, 7-5 to win the Jasmine Open in Tunisia.
Thank you, Russell. Wolves waiting to make the double change, trailing Newcastle by 2-1. Ait-Nouri's receiving treatment. So is Bruno Guimaraes. There's time to check in on the Solheim Cup as well with Ian Carter.
Yeah, commentary coming up, and it's really reaching the crunch time here. Europe not without hope. They're up in 3 of the matches that are still out on the course. Yes, America are leading 13-8, but 3 of the other matches are all square, and Lexi Thompson's only 1 up on Celine Boutier. Europe are fighting all the way here, Ali.
Right. Great drama. That is something for us to listen to in the car.
Yes.
On the way home, Clinton, after the game, because the Solheim Cup commentary will continue here on 5 Live after we've wrapped up the Premier League football. So Guedes is waiting to come on, and so is Carlos Forbes. They're going to be coming on for João Gomez and Jorgen Strand Larsen. And there's going to be a little bit of added time at the end of this game, and I just wonder whether the Wolves medical staff are saying Ait Nouri may have to come off here. How many changes have they made so far? Doherty's come on, Hwang has come on, Doyle has come on.
Yeah,
Forbes and Guedes are the last two, so is Ait Nouri, was he going to be involved anyway? We'll have to wait and see. There's been a lot good from Wolves today, hasn't there, Clinton? But you just felt that sort of pressure was building up to the point of conceding that first goal.
Yeah, Newcastle, it felt like a bit when you're watching the Tottenham game where Newcastle come back and they get something. They weren't creating much, but it was a deflected goal, got them confidence, and then the wonder goal from Harvey Barnes, who, as I said many a times, he should be starting. I don't understand how he's not starting. And they've obviously had to change it, and now Ait Nouri will come off because it probably wasn't one they were going to take off.
Yeah. Let's wait and see then with that. Ait Nouri is coming off. Carlos Forbes on loan from Ajax, the winger, is going to come on. And Strand Larsen, centre forward, is the other one who definitely will come off. And Gonçalo Guedes comes on, the Portuguese striker who scored a couple of goals this season in the League Cup win against Burnley. So those are the two changes. I think Newcastle are getting ready to make a change as well. Looks like Lloyd Kelly.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes, he'll come off. He was stretching like he had cramp.
Yeah.
He's probably been on international duty as well, hasn't he?
Look, yeah.
There you go.
Lloyd Kelly coming on for Bruno Guimaraes, who hobbles his way towards Kieran Trippier to hand over the captain's armband. The whole game is going to have to reset after the changes, and Bruno Guimaraes still has time to turn and applaud the Newcastle supporters, who absolutely love everything he gives to this Newcastle team. And with the win here, if they get it coming from behind, it is going to be some start to the season, considering, as Eddie Howe was saying in the week, he doesn't particularly feel they've hit their straps yet so far this season. Guimaraes shakes his head, still grimacing in pain as he exchanges a high five with Eddie Howe. So Kelly comes on, has a quick word with Lewis Hall and Dan Burn. So what's happening here? Fabian Schär.
I think they'll go to a three at the back, and then Hall and Trippier as the wing backs.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Willock and Tonali will sit as a two.
Schär, Burn and Kelly as the three centre backs. Kelly gets his first touch, looks for a diagonal ball to the right. Trippier goes down quite easily there. Play continues. Hwang stabs the ball forward. Tonali has it covered. We are into the 88th minute of this game, but there's easily going to be 5 or 6 minutes added time, if not more.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's not.
And then we'll be over to the Solheim Cup commentary here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tommy Doyle turns, charges forward. Plenty of energy having come off the bench in this second half. Carlos Forbes, first touch for Wolves, knocks it into the shins of Lewis Hall. Forbes turns, plays the ball back to Mosquera. Carlos Forbes is 20 years old, Portuguese, joined Ajax from Manchester City last season, so another one who's come through at Manchester City and is on loan here at Wolves from Ajax this season. He's asking for the ball again. Cunha's just about managed to get it to him. Forbes is going to have a run here at Hall. Drops the shoulder, turns inside. Good pass as well. Finds Cunha, cross into the box. Doherty was waiting. Clearance is going to go out for a throw-in to Wolves, right down by the corner flag on the right. 89th minute of the game. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Matt Doherty wraps the ball up in the Wolves shirt. It's going to be a long one. He's got a nice patch of grass. Nice bit of space to work with here to make his run to the touchline, then sort of lofts it into the near post. Dawson's looking for the flick on. Up in the air it goes. Forbes jumps. The ball is with Murphy. Murphy takes his time to get rid of that, but he has done it, and he's done it well, in fact. And now it's a chance for Murphy to break away down the right-hand side for Newcastle. Chip ball to the left, finds Harvey Barnes. Anthony Gordon in the middle if Barnes wants him. Barnes tried to find Gordon, fronts to Tonali. Johnston makes the save with his left foot. That was heading for the bottom corner. And if Wolves do get something out of this game, that is going to be a massively important save from Sam Johnston. Wolves clear it for now. Time running out for them, trailing 2-1.
I think Murphy picked the wrong pass there. I thought Gordon was in, but in the end, I think Barnes could have slipped in Willett, but he done well. And it would have been good, it would have been fitting for the Newcastle fans if Tonali could have scored that. But good, you're right, good save from Johnson.
Here come Wolves with Guedes. Guedes moving at pace, plays it to Forbes. Forbes inside the penalty area, just leaves the ball behind. Lewis Hall has blocked him, knocks it through the legs of Guedes. Lewis Hall's done well for Newcastle there. Now he's struggling. Seems to have a problem with his right hamstring, maybe cramp actually, the way he's gone down there, Lewis Hall. So we're going to get another stoppage in play, and we're going to get 8 minutes of added time, I'm told, here at Molineux. So still time for an equaliser.
And add on this much, it'd probably be longer. We'll probably be here we'll be here at 8:45 now.
90th minute of the game, but plenty more time coming. Lewis Hall is being looked after by Lloyd Kelly at the moment in that classic recovering from cramp pose, flat on his back. Leg is straight, and Lloyd Kelly has one of his feet in his hands, just bending those toes backward, trying to get Hall going again. We're having another look at the late Newcastle chance here, and the save from Sam Johnston. Good one with his left foot from Tonali. Throw into the near post, flicked on, stretching effort inside the penalty area. Wolves are appealing for a penalty there for a shirt tug on Guedes by Tonali. Now on field, the referee Chris Kavanagh hasn't given it. Nick Pope has the ball in his hands.
Yeah, it'd be very hard for VAR to overturn this. It's a good little flick from Mosquera. There's nothing much in that. Guedes is already falling back, so that'll be check complete.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Tonali's got arms on him, but Guedes has arms on Tonali as well, and he's already leaning back, is Guedes. That would have been a soft one had it been given. So we're into added time here. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Lamina giving Wolves the lead in the first half. Johnston, the Wolves keeper, playing out from the back to Doyle. Here's Mosquera, back to Johnston again. Anthony Gordon's interested here. Johnston across to Dawson, taking no prisoners, gives it a thump with his right foot. Harvey Barnes is back there to clear. Dawson leaps into it, chests it down on the half volley. Now he's on the charge. Craig Dawson gets it from João Gomes outside of the right foot, looks to find Guedes through the middle. Byrne intercepts for Newcastle, and it's cleared away by Fabian Schär, and anywhere will do for Newcastle at the moment. Goes out for a throw into Wolves.
Yeah, they've made a swap, I think so. I think Barnes is going to go and play as that left wing back and Hall further up in that advanced position because he can't recover because of his cramp.
2 goals in 7 minutes might win this for Newcastle late in this second half. Fabian Schär's deflected strike, which zipped into the top corner, and Harvey Barnes' wonderful curler with his right foot. Sam Johnston had no chance with either. Carlos Forbes on the right for Wolves, plays back to Mosquera. Mosquera's going to put the cross in from deep, not well hit. Tonali clears with his left foot, didn't have any control over that, and it goes out for a throw in to Wolves on the right. 2 minutes of added time have gone. 6 minutes of added time still to be played. Newcastle leading 2-1 and heading third in this fledgling Premier League table. Doherty's throw in towards that near post, headed away by Barnes. Volley by Cunha, what a save by Pope. Full stretch, away to his right. Gets a glove on it and tips it away, but keeps it in play. Wolves keep coming. Lamina's making the run. Schär's there to intercept and again whacks it away with his right foot.
I was just about to say, Ali, what a goal.
Yes.
I thought Pope was beaten. It was a great strike and it's a fantastic save from Nick Pope. What a save. Unbelievable.
Changed what a goal to what a save in an instant. Carlos Forbes controls the diagonal ball, gets it onto his left foot. Another cross comes into the penalty area, headed away. Tommy Doyle nods it back away to the right-hand side. Newcastle with some desperate defending. Everyone back. Cunha's cross, too close to Pope. Wolves player down in the box. They're appealing for another penalty. It's Mosquera this time who's gone down. That one was off the ball. He was nowhere near the cross as it was coming in. And Christopher Kavanagh saying it's okay, didn't see it. VAR will check. And if there's anything that needs doing, it will happen. John Brooks is the video assistant referee. Let's have a little look at this one. Byrne, handful of shirt, but Mosquera doesn't need to go down there, does he?
No, not at all. That won't be given.
Pretty feeble stuff from Gerson Mosquera, and the video assistant referee John Brooks having no truck with it. But Wolves having a go in added time to try and get themselves a precious point. Trailing 2-1. Tommy Doyle on the ball in the centre circle, looking for options. There's one on the left. Hwang's first time ball into the feet of Guedes. Back to Hwang. Hwang works it onto his right foot. Another cross comes into the Newcastle box. Deep to Forbes. Nods it back across goal. Headed away by Kelly. Gordon chases down the left. That's a foul on Gordon. Forbes too desperate to win the ball. Wolves fans thought he got the ball. I don't think he did. I think he trod on Gordon. João Gomes comes over to have a scream at Anthony Gordon. But it's the frustration building from Wolves. 4 minutes of added time played, 4 minutes of added time still to go. Gordon is hauled to his feet. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2.
Yeah, it's clever from Gordon, but going back to that save is world class from Nick Pope, and that's what I said earlier on. He can make big saves. The technique from Cunha is outstanding, but the save's even better. His whole frame, if it's a smaller goal, he doesn't save it, but he stretches out. It's a great fingertip.
Volley on the stretch, as Clinton says, was fabulous technique from Cunha, and he thought he'd scored. Pope had other ideas, and he's about to take this free kick for Newcastle. 3.5 minutes remaining for Wolves. Gary O'Neill is getting frustrated down there on the touchline. Header away from Mosquera. Tonali intercepts that. Newcastle are just going to try and shut this game down. Gordon on the left hand side, unless they sense another opportunity to absolutely kill it, because they've got the ball in an attacking position. But Murphy's going to head for the corner flag. Doherty just nudges into the back of him. Who got the last touch there? It was Doherty. It's going to be a throw into Newcastle, right down by the corner flag on the left-hand side. Coming into this game today, or Jacob Murphy's heading off into the car park to go and get the ball. There's a replacement ball on the
he knows what he's doing.
Right. We all know what he's doing.
Of course he does. I don't and Kavanagh's going to book him for that. I don't know why Murphy's getting booked. That is needless.
Well,
he didn't need to chase it. He knew what he was doing. So Kavanagh makes the right decision to book him.
All day we've been going replacement ball, replacement ball, replacement ball. Newcastle trying to shut it down for the win, and Jacob Murphy, there's a gap between the two stands away to our left, and off he trotted. And they're very, very hot on that. The delay of the restart in play is always going to get you a yellow card. It's what saw Declan Rice sent off in that game against Brighton, just prodding the ball away.
Ali, he literally went through the turnstiles, bought a ticket and came back in.
Tommy Doyle driving forward. 2 minutes of added time remaining. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Going into the game today, Gary O'Neill hadn't beaten Eddie Howe as a manager in 5 attempts. That looks like it's going to continue. Eddie Howe had not won at Molineux in 4 attempts. That looks like it's going to change. Wolves on the ball, though, trying everything they can to find an equaliser here. If they can't in the next 2 minutes, Newcastle are going third in the Premier League table with 3 wins out of 4. Doyle's ball into their penalty area. 3 centre-backs now for Newcastle. Fabian Schär diving header away. Doyle slides a pass to his right. Here's Cunha. Cunha back to Doyle. Doyle with the diagonal. Lemina's made the run. Dawson heads it across goal. Mosquera's there. Tries to flick it into the path of Guedes. Newcastle have cleared. Hall chases. He's not got much left in the tank. Lewis Hall hobbling around for Newcastle up front. Wolves have won it back. Doyle's diagonal again, looking for Lemina. Lemina nods it down here. Hwang thought about hitting that first time. Lays it off to João Gomez. Just over a minute to play. Gomez, central position, 35 yards out to Doyle. Doyle sweeps play out to the right-hand side. Forbes with one touch, slides his pass back to Gomez. Another cross in to that near post. Lemina just can't get through the bodies to try and get on the end of it. Chases back to keep it in play. Wide on the left. Low pass into Cunha. Little touch takes it around the corner. Cross comes into the near post. Schär's there to block it with his right foot. Lemina is waiting wide on the left. Finds Cunha again. Cunha's got Barnes behind him. Little trick. Another cross into the box. Mosquera. Touch. Turn. Shot deflected. And over the bar it goes. But there's an offside flag that goes up, so it wouldn't have counted. That was good stuff from Mosquera.
It was good stuff. I think Tommy Doyle's having a go at him because he's saying set him on the edge of the box to have a shot.
Yeah,
so he's having a go at him to say you're not going to score from there. And he's still having a go. They're still having a go at each other. But you're right. Mosquera's trying something, but you know what, centre halves are in there. They are going to try something, but Doyle's not happy that he didn't set him on the edge.
Looks like it's going to be 3 defeats in 4 in the Premier League for Wolves, 3 wins in 4 for Newcastle. Late Newcastle free kick from the offside. 10 seconds of the added time remaining according to my stopwatch, and then it's whatever the referee Chris Kavanagh wants to add on. Pope clears with his right foot. Downfield it goes. Doherty jumps, doesn't get anything on it. Mosquera's ball with his right foot is headed away by Kelly. Willock lays it off to Hall. Back to Tonali. Forward to Willock. Or Mosquera nearly made a foul on Willock. It's played into the penalty area. Barnes is there. Dink little finishes wide. And that would have been the perfect ending for Newcastle and Harvey Barnes. Would have been a fabulous goal. But I think Wolves are going to be out of time. Chris Kavanagh looks at his watch. Wolves take their goal kick quickly. That is that, though, at Molineux. Newcastle have turned it around. Harvey Barnes' stunner in the 82nd minute wins the game for Newcastle. 1-0 down. They win it 2-1 and they move third in the Premier League table. And they have that quality in their squad, Clinton Morrison. 3 changes made at half-time. Individuals like Harvey Barnes who can win games like that.
They can, and Willock there at the end, he brought energy into midfield. I think all the subs came on and played a big part obviously losing a player like Isak, I can understand the Joe Linton and Longstaff. Joe Linton a yellow card, Longstaff not having an effect, but those 3 players came on and made a big difference. In particular, Harvey Barnes. What a goal to win a football match, and that is why he should be starting now.
Yeah.
We're not Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's a top manager. He sees something different, but all Barnes can do is keep producing performances like that because it's a wonder goal.
Alexander Isak was one to go off at half-time. You'll get the reaction to the game today in the Football Daily podcast. So Wolves stay in that bottom 3, Clinton. Just the 1 point from their 4 games so far. Andre made his first start for the club today and looked impressive. I mean, you said before the game you've got no real worries about them over the course of the season. Do you still feel that way? Encouraging signs today?
Yeah, I think it's encouraging signs. Listen, at 1-0, I think without the Fabian Schär deflected, they maybe had a hold on. But I'm looking at Strun Larsen. He needs to get the goals. I'm thinking Cunha's a clever player, will get you goals. Wang will get you goals. Bellegarde, but they need that number 9 Strun Larsen to start stepping up and getting goals. But it's still early. It's only 4 games, Ali. I don't think Gary O'Neill will be pressing the panic button just as yet.
Yeah, impressive from Newcastle as well, though, so far this season, Clinton, because not everything, as we were saying, has been rosy off the field. They didn't get Mark Gay. He didn't do a massive amount in the transfer window. Lost Fabian Schär to suspension early on in the season, but they managed to get it 3 wins out of 4 games. And as Darren Fletcher actually was saying much earlier in the day, with no European football this season either, in terms of those teams they're going to be battling with for that top 4 place, that's an advantage for them.
Yeah, I don't think the hierarchy helped Eddie Howe. I'm being honest with you. I think a club like Newcastle should be attracting big players. If you want to go and get Mark Gahey, Newcastle should have paid the money to Crystal Palace to get Mark Gahey. So it didn't happen. It might happen again in January. It might happen again in the summer, but credit Eddie Howe. He's not moaned about it. Well, he might have moaned behind the scenes, but he hasn't come out and moaned. He's just got on with it, and it's another fantastic result.
Newcastle 3rd in the Premier League table. Are you going to be listening to the Solheim Cup?
Yeah, I'll be listening to that on the way home. When this road opens up, I'll be definitely listening to that. It's tight, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Europe's still in with a chance. We'll find out in just a second. Premier League today then. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1. So Arsenal also on 10 points like Newcastle, 2 points behind Manchester City. West Brom have gone top of the Championship today, 3-0 winners away to Portsmouth. And in the Scottish Premiership, Rangers 1-0 winners away to Dundee United. Champions League commentaries on the way this week. All 4 English teams, full commentary on all of them, starting on Tuesday night on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 5:45, Young Boys against Aston Villa. Monday Night Club as well tomorrow night with Chris Sutton, Rory Smith and Shay Given along with Mark Chapman. But that is it from here at Molineux this Sunday afternoon. It's finished Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, and now on 5 Live we can head to those closing stages of the Solheim Cup with the 5 Live golf team and Sarah Mulkerritz.